Days, and welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for Smackdown. We have got so much to talk about. We have got so much to go through. It really, really is jam-packed. There's so much news breaking through. There's so many things that I need to cover and go through. We're obviously going to give people a second to join us because we are starting a little bit earlier than we usually do. I waited for the interview to wrap up over on the Insiders, and whilst we're waiting for people to join us, I do want to just say and urge that if you haven't yet, please check out the interview with Nikita Koloff on the Insiders YouTube channel. Nikita Koloff is one of the all-time greats. He is an absolute legend, one of the biggest names in wrestling in the 1980s, it's blown my mind what I've just heard. Like listening to him talking about Dusty Rhodes, talking about the people that he used to play football with, talking about what it was like performing at like these big shows, and it was incredible. Like he feels like a family friend. I mean, like if you was over there listening to that interview, It felt like a family friend. I feel like I've known him all of my life. It's one of the best interviews I've ever heard. He's so happy and open, and the conversation was flowing. There was so much interesting stuff in there. Honestly, I can't stress it enough. If you have not heard that interview, check it out. As I said, one of the greats. Honestly, one of the greats. So it was massive for the Insiders to get an opportunity to talk to Nikita Koloff, who we've seen on NWA Power, by the way. We have seen Nikita Koloff come out and say a few words on NWA Power. So, absolutely massive that they got the opportunity to talk to him, but they knocked it out of the park. So, big shout out to Jeff. Big shout out to Joe. Again, just go over, subscribe to the Insiders Wrestling Podcast. Put that in a to-watch list or something, because if you're even partially interested in the history of wrestling, you will definitely get a lot from that interview. I enjoyed it so much. I promise you, I am actually going to listen to it again tomorrow. I'm actually, because I was setting the stream up whilst I was listening to it. So I am actually going to go back and, just really give it my full attention, because there was just, he was so open. He was so open. It was unbelievable. Right, I think that might be enough swooning over that interview. I wanted to make sure I definitely did, because I so thoroughly enjoyed it. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that it had happened. Because, of course, this week, there's been a lot of disruption over on the Insiders channel. They dropped a brand new episode as well of the podcast. They did like a Thunder Rosa interview. There's been Adam Rotella interview. There's been loads of different indie wrestler got interviewed as well. So, there's so much going on over there. Make sure that you jump over and check them out. Hello to everyone in the chat. I can see Cal in corner. Shout out to you. Shout out to C Wrestling. Please mention Aaron Harahan. Aaron. Shout out to you, Aaron. Aaron did actually request a shout out. I am going to try that surname one more time. Hanrahan. Yes, Aaron Hanrahan. Boom. Yes, Aaron did request a shout out over on Twitter, so more than happy to do that for you. Famous KJ, shout out to you as well. Wrestling Days fan, LSW. Yes, we have got things to talk through. There's a lot of news to go through, actually, but I don't want to go to it just yet, because obviously we've just started a few minutes early, so just giving people an opportunity to come and find us, come and join us, and then we can go through the news. We've got quite a bit of news to go through. There's been a lot of news that's kind of broken through in the past couple of hours, including rumoured NXT releases. So we will talk about that in a second. But as I said, I definitely wanted to make sure that I spoke about how great that interview with Nikita Koloff was, because I like to point you guys in good directions of good quality content. You know that we've got our own C Wrestling. You know that we've got £10 a podcast for your NWA needs. You know that we've got Wrestling Escape Pod coming up, which I'm a fan of, and I'm sure that you are as well. So we've got that coming up after SmackDown, but I've got to make sure that I'm telling you about the insiders and that fantastic Nikita Koloff interview. So yes, we got that. As we just said, there is a Wrestling Escape Pod, brand new episode after SmackDown. So as soon as we're done here, we'll go over to the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. Tommy will be joining us in the chat once again. He absolutely loves it. I was talking to him the other day, and he was saying he has so much fun. So Tommy Toy Travels will be in the chat over there after SmackDown. And this week's episode is all about wrestling figures. It's literally 50-odd minutes of just... here's as many things as I can tell you, as I can kind of shoehorn in. Just a really good chat. I really like the video. I think it's a good episode. I was editing it earlier today, so that is up, ready to go. So we've got that on the way. Literally just waiting a couple more seconds, and then we will get stuck into the news. The other thing to mention, Coaster Maniacs, our very own Coaster Maniacs. I've been talking to Coaster Maniacs quite a bit recently. He has got a 2-part interview with myself. The first part went up today, and it's all about wrestling. Literally, I just answered whatever he asked. The conversation very much talking about the recent releases, what the future might hold, things along those lines. I think people seem to enjoy it. The feedback seemed to be really positive. The next one, which I think may drop tomorrow, we talk roller coasters. So how about that? So Coaster Maniac's going to be talking roller coasters, or at least talking with me about roller coasters. So that'll be dropping on Coaster Maniac's channel as well. So I think that, as we said, drops tomorrow. Right, friends, let's get to it, shall we? Let's start talking about the news. There's Coaster Maniacs. Shout out to you, saying any good cheese. I've actually stayed away from cheese today. Gives me nightmares. Right, here we go. So, NXT Superstars. Obviously, this is a very serious subject. This has not been confirmed. At this stage, all I've seen are rumours. And the rumours, they're very loud rumours. A lot of the dirt sheets are picking up on this story. So, I would say that there's, no smoke without fire. And I would say that there's truth to this. And it seems like a few NXT stars have unfortunately been released on the quiet. So the big names, Taniara Conti. You might remember that she was I think she's got a judo background, maybe a Brazilian jiu-jitsu background, and she is a black belt in martial arts, and she came through the Mae Young Classic tournament. We'd seen her a few times on NXT. They didn't use her a lot, but she was kind of, around. Kind of similar to Vanessa Bourne. You don't see her all the time, but it's a name that you know. She kind of went by the name of Taniara. She also went by the name of Taniara Conti. It looks like they've unfortunately let her go. Same with, and this one's quite a shock, I think, Tina Sabatelli. So Tino Sabatelli is someone that had been around for quite a while, a good few years, and they'd tried lots of different things with him, and it looks like they just couldn't find the right fit, and the rumours are, unfortunately, they've let him go. The full list that I've got here, again, this was just being reported on Twitter, and there could be more names breaking through, but the full list that I've got is Taniara Conti, Dan Mather, Serena Deeb, that we know was a trainer, Kendo Kashin, Nick Comoroto, Tino Sabatelli, John Quasto, Mars Wang, Isia Miles, and Deonna Purrazzo. Now, quite a few of those names I'm not familiar with. Quite a few of those names are people that I don't think actually made a debut. I think they were performance center talent. Certainly the bigger names there for me are Taniara Conti, Mata, Sabatelli, Deonna Purrazzo. So I would say those are the big names that stand out, and the rumours are that they have been told in the past 30 minutes or so. So the latest news seems to be that there's not going to be any more Raw or SmackDown releases. It seems like if there are any more releases, it's going to come from NXT. Again, we don't know how true that is, but that's come from Dave Meltzer. I know that people tend to take him with a pinch of salt, but this is what he's reporting. He's been told that nothing else from Raw or SmackDown. It's just NXT that might quietly let go of some people. And as we said, some of these names emerging in the past 30 minutes. As well as that, we've got information in regards to shows being taped till July. So it seems like the shows for next week are all going to be live. After that, it looks like they're going to be a mixture of live and recorded. So they're going to do live shows, but they're also going to record an episode on the same day. And then as we move into like May, like the end of May, June, that's when you'll start to see some taped shows again. That'll take us all the way up till July. So they've issued a bit of a schedule showing what shows are going to be live and what shows are going to be taped. As we said, certainly for the next couple of weeks, it looks like shows are going to be live. And then after that, we moved into like taped shows. Anna Dawes says, Days, the audio is very quiet. Okay. I might be able to tweak that. Boom. There we go. Is that better? You'll have to tell me if that is a little bit better or not. I don't know if that is... I mean, I can see that it's a little bit louder. Certainly didn't seem to be quiet on the levels, so hopefully that's a little bit better. I could hear Days just fine. It was a little lower than usual. Audio was pretty low. Well, just let me know if it sounds any better now. I've actually got it clipping quite high, higher than I normally would go, so I'm not too sure if there's a problem. But loads better. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully you heard what I was saying. I was talking about the fact that NXT releases have come through in the past half an hour. Taniara Conti, Sabatelli, those are the big names. Dan Mather, Serena Deeb, Kendo Cashin, Nick Komoroto, John Kusto, Mars Wang, Aisa Miles, and Deonna Purrazzo. That's the list of people that are showing as being released, but that is not confirmed. Just so you know, that is not confirmed. As well as that, we've got shows that have been taped and shows that are going to be aired live up until July. So we've got that information that's come through as well. So shows are going to be live next week and I believe the week after, but they're also going to be taping shows during that time. And then as we get towards the middle and end of May, that's when those shows will be the taped shows. There's reports coming through from PW Insider as well that parts of Money in the Bank has been filmed on the headquarters of WWE. There's actually a couple of pictures that I retweeted out on Twitter. These are pictures of the ring set up on the roof. You can't see any wrestlers up there. It's literally just a ring on a roof. And there's a little bit of scaffolding above where they could potentially have like a Money in the Bank briefcase suspended. I'm looking at it as being for like the opening sequence. I'm not under the impression at this stage that it's actually going to be matches and that it's actually going to be part of the show. I think it just could be like a really cool open. I'm not sure if they're going to like fly wrestlers up there to do the matches or if they've done that. I mean, it would be cool if they have, but honestly, I've not seen anything to say that they have other than a ring set up on a roof. So you can kind of read into that whatever you want. But certainly there's pictures, and as I said, I retweeted those out. I think it was something like Wrestle Daily had got exclusive pictures of them, so I think that's where they came from. I certainly had quite a few people sending them over to me, so there is definitely something going on there. But as we said, we don't know if it's going to be like the opening credits or the opening video package, or if it's actually going to be the matches are going to be held on the roof. We know that it's not going to come from the Performance Center. There's been an announcement from WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes have said that Money in the Bank won't come from the Performance Center, but unless they're going to do the whole show on the roof, unless the whole pay-per-view is going to come, but I don't. But why? I don't. That's the bigger question. Why? Why? I mean, like, if you can't do it in the Performance Center for whatever reason, at what point do you go, well, then the only other logical thing is to do it on a roof? Like, how do you? I don't understand how you get to that point or that way of thinking. So, yeah, crazy. Robert Cameron says Perazzo said she was very unhappy. Yeah, I can understand. I mean, like, she's someone that wants to compete on a regular basis, and she was kind of being jobbed out. I mean, last time we saw her, she was getting squashed by Nia Jax. So, yeah, I can totally understand that she was going to be unhappy. And, yeah, I mean, for some of these people, you know, I don't want to say this is a blessing in disguise, because where are they going to go? That's the point, you know. It's going to be very, very difficult for people to find work in wrestling, because I don't think there's going to be many vacancies. You know, there's not loads of different wrestling companies, for example. So, and even those wrestling companies that do exist, can they really take people on at the moment, or are they having to downsize as well? So, I don't know. It's we'll have to see how it all plays out. But I know I speak for everyone when I say I hope that everyone that's been released goes on to find, you know, a brighter future. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. There was some I just wanted to tell you about Howard Finkel. I was listening to the Jim Cornette, not the podcast. There was just a video that was on YouTube, and he was. I urge that you check it out, because he was sharing some good stories about the Fink. And one of the things that he said, which I thought was really interesting, was apparently Howard Finkel used to actually compile a report. He would go through all of the dirt sheets. He would go through like all of the early like chat rooms on the internet and all these different sources, and he would get anything that was interesting and anything that he thought that people needed to know, or Vince needed to know. He would actually put it into a report, and apparently this was very regular and never late. It was always available by 9 in the morning. You know, Jim Cornette was saying, I don't know how he did it, because he listened to everything and must have been typing so fast to have made this report available. And Jim Cornette recalled a few times where, you know, it might have been a few minutes late, and it was so unusual for it to be late that Vince would start to worry a little bit about Howard Finkel. Like, has anyone seen the Finkel report? Like, we haven't had it through yet. And apparently that was a regular thing. So I didn't even know he did that. I didn't know that was something that he did behind the scenes. So, just another cool little fact about the Fink. A Fink fact, if you will. And obviously a big, big loss. A massive loss to the wrestling family. I was saying, I can't remember on a stream the other day that it's not just one of the best ring announcers that we lost, but honestly one of wrestling's biggest supporters. Someone that was so passionate about the sport. He was just absolutely living his best life. Like Jim Cornette said the same. Like he worked for WWE for 40 years, and he would not have wanted to have worked anywhere else. Not another company, nowhere else. It was the absolute perfect fit for him. So a big loss to the WWE family. London Askew, shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to you. LSW, shout out to you as well. I hope Vince stops WWE because of the virus. Not happening. Not happening. He's going to continue. He's going to push on. Nothing's going to stop Vince McMahon. I think we've all learnt that by now. I mean, like, the whole thing's been very controversial. We've kind of had many conversations on the subject. I don't think it's as easy as to say, you know, WWE should have completely stopped. Yes, it could have completely stopped, and yes, that might have been the right thing to have done. But There's a lot of money involved. There's contracts involved. There's a lot of things involved. There's a lot of moving parts. So, as I said, look at the impact that's been felt anyway. Look at the wrestlers that have been let go anyway. And that's seemingly without having contravened their contract or broken their TV contract. What would happen if they did? Like, what would be the financial impact then? How many more wrestlers would potentially have been let go? I don't know the answer. I know you don't know the answer. But I'm just saying, I don't know if it's as easy as all of that. So we keep saying it, and it's the truth. Health comes first. Health comes first, and that's why if they're not going to be stopping, or they can't stop, or they can't reach an agreement with the TV companies that works for everybody, then I think at least they've got back to now taping some of the shows. I think that's a really positive step forward. Kona Reeves has also been released. Okay. As I said, this news not confirmed. Thank you. I'll write that down. I definitely don't want to be speculating. I'm just telling you the names that I saw on a list from one of the dirt sheets, one of the wrestling news outlets that I kind of trust as much as you can trust them. It's one that I trusted, so that's where I got the names from. But as I said, I've not done any videos or anything on that because nothing confirmed. I don't even know if WWE are going to confirm it, to tell the truth. This might be all done on the quiet, because a lot of these names are going to be people that you won't have known anyway. So I don't know how they're going to announce this, or if there'll just be an announcement, or what the plan is. Days just said Lee. Hey Days, how are you doing? I'm good, thank you. Are we going to get that Triple H thing tonight, or was that another week? That's another week, isn't it? And is it Raw? That might even be on Raw. I don't know when that is, to tell the truth, but not tonight. Tonight, what we've got, I should imagine we're going to see more of Bray and Braun. So I'm expecting Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. I'm expecting Sasha Banks versus Tamina. That follows on from last week, where you might remember Bayley turned around and said, look, you can have a shot at the title, but you've got to get past Sasha first. And Sasha seemed very annoyed and very upset that she'd been put in that situation. So, yes, I'm expecting that match. And also, I believe tonight is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. This is that singles ladder match where we're getting The Miz versus Jey Uso versus Big E. You might remember that we had the other partners having the match at WrestleMania. And now they're doing the people that didn't compete at WrestleMania in I don't think it's a ladder match. I think this one's just literally a triple threat match. So Miz versus Jey Uso versus Big E. Oh, as well, I think Roman Reigns has announced that his wife or partner is expecting twins. I'm sure that's what I saw. Certainly kids on the way for Roman. So I wonder if that played a part in him, staying away. Because he said something a little bit cryptic in a video. He said that, you... a lot of you are judging me for not competing at WrestleMania, but you don't know what's going on at home. I could have kids. I could be looking after sick family members. And it was quite interesting because I would have thought that his battle with leukemia would have been enough for him to have gone, look, you know why I'm not competing. But he didn't necessarily say that. He says, you don't know what's going on at home. And then all of a sudden, fast forward a week or so, and now it turns out that his wife is pregnant. So it could have been that they knew this, around that time. And that's another reason as to why he didn't want to take any risks. So not just for his health, but his wife as well. And obviously their unborn kids. Mason says, Days, what is one match you are looking forward to tonight? Also, you have been teleported to the Performance Center. Yes. I have. I can't remember where this background came from, to be honest, but yes, I'm there. They've allowed me in. I'm allowed. They said it's fine for one person to sit in the crowd, so I said that I would be. I'd behave myself and I'd be very quiet. So yes, they've allowed me to enter the performance center. One match I'm looking forward to tonight. To be honest, I don't know that I'm really looking forward to any match. It's such a difficult circumstance to hold wrestling shows in. It's such a difficult everything that's going on at the moment. You know, it's just I don't want to say it's bigger than wrestling because I mean, like wrestling is so to me, wrestling is very important. Kind of brings people together. I'm not saying it's essential. I'm just saying that for me, wrestling is something that I think is important. Sport is important, you know. How many times have you heard sport is important? The Olympics are important, you know, brings people together and all this kind of stuff. And I feel that way about wrestling, so, but maybe not essential. Yeah, I mean, what with people losing their jobs? I mean, our thoughts are still with all of those that got released now. You know, we're starting to hear rumours that there's NXT releases. And then on top of that, you know, we lost Howard Finkel, an absolute legend, someone that a lot of us grew up listening to. And, you know, as we said, he was on Legends House and all stuff like that. You kind of look at it and go, man, am I really excited for Sasha Banks versus Tamina? Am I really excited for a Miz triple threat? No. I don't even know if I'd be excited if The Fiend was in action tonight, to be honest. I don't know that I'm in the right mindset for really, you know, enjoying wrestling. I don't know. Although, saying that, we did a watch-along yesterday for ECW, and I have to admit, I did enjoy watching that show with you guys. For those of you that joined us for that, I'd not seen the show before. There was a brilliant Rob Van Dam match. Rob Van Dam versus Lance Storm really impressed me. I thought that was a very, very good match. The show itself overall I thought was very entertaining. It was ECW's first pay-per-view. If you've not seen it, check it out. Not even the watch-along, just the show, just on the network. I thought it had some really good stuff, but in particular, the one that I took away, the thing that I walked away thinking, yeah, that was awesome, was Rob Van Dam versus Lance Storm. Thought that was a very, very good match. So I don't know, maybe like, you know, when things are going and I'm watching wrestling, then maybe I can get into it, and maybe I can enjoy it, and maybe I'm going into it hoping to enjoy tonight's show, but man, it's been a crazy 48 hours. Crazy 48 hours. Oh, Days, don't give up on wrestling. Oh, never giving up on wrestling. I'm just saying it's, you know, there's been a lot going on in the past 48 hours that I don't know that you can necessarily look at SmackDown and go, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this match. Although maybe some of you are. Maybe there's people that are looking forward to the Sasha match or the Miz match or whatever, and that's great. That's great. As I said, you know, wrestling to me is important and brings people together. Days, you're being too gloomy. I don't know. I feel all right. I don't feel like I'm being gloomy. We've obviously just gone through all the news and everything, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just being reflective of kind of, I think, where most people are, to be honest. I don't think there's really anything that's going to set the world on fire on this show. I think that people are... I don't even know if people have necessarily got an appetite for wrestling at the moment. I mean, like, certainly if you look at the ratings for Raw, the Raw ratings were very, very low. Very low on Monday. Even on Wednesday, I mean, I think both shows doing 600,000. You know, how long ago was it where AEW was at the 900,000 mark, and we were wondering if they were going to break 1 million again? And do you know what I mean? It's weird to think we're only a week or so past WrestleMania. Like, you would still expect there to be like a bit of a buzz around and everything, but there's just so much going on in the world, you know, so much going on in the world. And as we said before, I think the economic impact is now starting to be felt. So not only now is everyone having to deal with like all the health side of things, but now we're starting to see people getting released. I've actually had people getting in touch with me on Twitter saying that they've found out that they've been furloughed or they've lost their job. People have got in touch with me to say they've actually not furloughed, but actually lost their jobs because their companies have gone and everything. So, yeah, it's serious times. Serious times. What's your thoughts on the masked hacker? Who is it? I don't actually know if they're going to continue with that. I mean, they haven't revealed who it was. I'm still under the impression that it was Ali. I haven't changed my mind on that. But yeah, it's a story that seems to have just kind of died down a little bit. Maybe it comes back tonight. Maybe, it feels like, because they haven't revealed who it was, it feels like that hacker is going to expose some more truth. So I don't know if they're not maybe working on the next storyline for that person to, expose the truth of. I thought it was quite interesting that we never found out who it was at, like, WrestleMania. So I kind of get the feeling like that story's going to keep developing, Shout out to Jason Neal. Mandy and Sonya are going to be the best part of this show. Yes, they're face-to-face as well, aren't they, Mandy and Sonya? Obviously, that following on from last week when Mandy came down and she slapped Sonya. I believe that was last week, wasn't it? Oh, it's all merging into one. But I'm pretty sure she came down and slapped Sonya. Sonya was with Dolph. They still seem to be together, and I can't figure out why. They're such a weird couple to kind of have around each other. I can't work that partnership out. But they're face to face this week anyway. Mandy and Sonya. This is a hell of a year, says James Chadwick. Days, I'm excited about the podcast. I'm a huge fan, a huge figure collector. So this will be one of my favorite episodes. Just quickly touching on the podcast. I know majority of you already know, but I do a show with Tommy Toy Travels, who was the person that genuinely inspired me when I started. So for me to do that with him is a great honor for me. And his channel was all about figures. Mine, was very figure focused a few years ago before we were doing the watch-alongs. And this was definitely an episode that I wanted to get done as soon as I could. And episode 2 tonight on wrestling figures. We actually look at the history of wrestling figures. So there's a lot of information in there. Hopefully we present it in a fun way. So you kind of learn some stuff, but also we have a laugh and a joke as well. So if you've not seen it, then I urge that you check it out, the Wrestling Escape Pod. And as we said, that will air straight after we're finished here. So we'll go straight the way through. We're at half an hour. We've got half an hour until SmackDown begins. Then we're going to watch the show. Then obviously we'll see, what happens on the show this week. And then straight after, we'll jump over to the Wrestling Escape Pod. And Tommy will be in the chat over there as well. Days, I realised that Linda is in Shut Your Mouth. I realised that Linda is in Shut Your Mouth. I don't know what that means. Days, did you see the Otis and Mandy pics on Twitter? L.I. Baker, I did not. Michael Reed says, Days, what do you call a Triple H match? A buried alive match. Oh! Just ask Sting. Or Booker T. Days, I'm going to order my first wrestling figure. Well, Jesse, let me know. What do you get? Which one have you gone for? Let me know. Swamp Manor says, do you like the name Karrion Kross? I'm not a fan of that name, no. I know that there's a new shirt for Killer Kross that's come out, and clearly it says that his new name is Karrion Kross. But I've got to say, I'm not a fan of that. Vape Ross Vape, shout out to you. The glitch might come back during the confrontation between Sonya and Mandy. Joshua, you're absolutely right. It could. Days, when is ECW One Night Stand? It's down to the community to vote. I think we're actually going to do a stream tomorrow on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. This is why, not only do I, hope that you enjoy the podcast every Friday after SmackDown, brand new episode of Wrestling Escape Pod. So we've got that after the show tonight. But not only have we got that, but I tried to do a couple of little streams over there as well. And I think the next one will be tomorrow. And you will be able to decide. I think we might do a couple of polls, actually. I think you can probably decide what the next Wrestling Escape Pod episode is going to be all about. So if you join us for that, then you'll be able to influence that. That's a pretty big thing to influence. And also, you'll be able to decide what we watch on Thursday. So if you are passionate about it being ECW One Night Stand, then make sure that you join us tomorrow on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. Not sure what time it's going to be yet, because, of course, we don't know what's happening in the world of wrestling. So, we will probably be around about, like, I don't know, something like maybe 8. Maybe about, like, 8 Eastern or 7 Eastern. Probably 7 Eastern or 6 Eastern. You can tell I haven't decided yet. Somewhere between 6, 7 or 8 Eastern. Or maybe it'll be 6 till 8 Eastern. I don't know. But yeah, keep an eye out. I'll tweet information out, but it's going to be around about that time in the kind of evening time, early evening. And we'll decide what the future Wrestling Escape Pod episode is going to be on, and we'll also decide what we watch on Thursday. Days Triple H 25 is next Friday. Thank you, Swamp Manor. Are there any good replica titles to buy? C Wrestling says, #should be Nitro. Yes. It would be nice if it could be the final Nitro, because in all fairness, C Wrestling has asked for it to be that for a good couple of weeks now. And I would like to watch it, to be honest. I've seen it. It was one of the shows I watched when I first got the network. You know, when you first got the network and you just lost your mind and you're just watching anything and everything and you're just catching up on stuff. I remember I watched a lot of WCW because, as I've said in previous streams, I never watched it at the time. I've seen a lot of the highlights on DVDs and, 100 moments that you need to see. And obviously bits on YouTube and things throughout the years. But when the network dropped about 5-6 years ago, it's one of the first things that I went and watched was the final Nitro, because I'd never seen it in its entirety. So, I haven't seen it since then. And I can't even totally remember it, so. Imtiaz says, push for universal basic income. Coronavirus, COVID-19. Shout out to Imtiaz, LCFC for life. I think there's a lot of those kind of campaigns at the moment going around. It's really cool, actually, because we've got, I know a lot of you will already know, there's a 99-year-old guy called Tom, Captain Tom, who has done 100. Is 99 years old, and he walks with like a frame, and he did 100 laps around his garden, and he wanted to raise £1,000 for our health service, the NHS. So he did these 100 laps, and it's just absolutely caught the imagination of not only the UK but the world. Like, it's caught the imagination of the world. He is doing interviews now for news outlets in Argentina, in Europe, I should imagine America as well. He wanted to raise £1,000. Earlier today, he passed the £20 million mark. He has raised £20 million. William and Kate have sent him a message, and he's on all the news bulletins and everything. So I know we've kind of stepped away from wrestling. Although, in all fairness, Drew McIntyre did tweet a message out in support of him as well, saying that he was, a legend and everything. So, there's lots of those stories. Hopefully, wherever you are in the world, you've got someone doing something similar, raising money for your health service, or however it works. I know in America it's all done in insurance and things like that. Crazy, absolutely brilliant. It's been a positive story to kind of come out of what we're all going through. Captain Tom Moore is a legend. Any good replica titles? Whatever you're into. I mean, I wouldn't want to recommend. I mean, I love the Winged Eagle, but there's no point me saying go for that because you might not be a fan of it. So, what I was going to say was I did see Hulk Hogan tweeted out that he is doing an offer at the moment for his beach shop. So, Hogan's Beach Shop. Apparently, if you buy a replica title from there, it will come signed. He will sign it. I don't know that he's pushed the price up. I can't comment. But I think he was doing like a Winged Eagle for a decent price. I think it was around about $400, like same as WWE Shop. But he will sign it. All replica titles will be signed by Hulk Hogan. So I'd say if you're thinking of getting a replica title, maybe have a look at Hogan's Beach Shop. As well, if you get it from Euroshop, you can use the Days 20 code. I don't think you can use that in conjunction if it's already discounted. And you have to be spending like 100 anyway. But of course, if you're getting a replica title, you will be. But just something else to bear in mind as well. That code is still running and still active till the end of April. Days 20 will save you some money at Euroshop. Days, any call-ups tonight? No rumours. Swamp Manor, no rumours. Days, did you see that Colby Covington expects to be in WWE next year? Yeah, I saw a little bit of back and forth between him and Drew McIntyre. So, for those of you that don't know, Colby Covington is quite a big name in UFC and one of the bigger stars. And he could definitely do a job in WWE. He's got a very strong gimmick. He's like pro-Trump, Republican, wears it, as a real badge of honor, walks around in the Make America Great Again cap and all this kind of stuff. And again, whatever your thoughts, keep them to yourselves. We're not going down political roads. There's enough problems in the world as it is without starting any political opinions and issues and stuff like that in the chat. All I'm saying is that is his gimmick. He wears it as a badge of honor and all this kind of stuff. And obviously, people support him for it and people don't like him for it. So he is someone that divides opinion and someone that would be very, very good to bring into wrestling because he's a good promo. He can talk. He's got a gimmick. I don't know that they would use that gimmick. They would probably want to maybe... Amazingly, they might want something less controversial. Like, that might be the first time I've ever said that sentence about the world of wrestling. They might want something less controversial. But, yeah, he was saying that he wants to go into WWE next year. I think there'll be a lot of people saying no. What with the releases as well? Do you really want to be spending... Because I should imagine that he'd get a decent contract. It certainly doesn't feel like the right time to be having those kinds of conversations. But I genuinely think he could come in and do a good job. I genuinely think he'd be a good addition for WWE. Days, I gave donations to the Red Cross a few days ago to help them out. Shout out to you, Eric Haberman. Yes. I'm going to watch Beyond the Mat on Netflix. That could be a good watch-along, says Bamacat. Maybe. The only problem with documentaries and things along those lines is you have to really listen. There's a lot of talking in there. What I find with wrestling is that you don't necessarily have to listen to the commentary. The commentary tends to call the spots, talk about what's happening, and, you kind of... That's the great thing about wrestling. It's kind of like a universal language, isn't it? You can watch wrestling from Japan and totally understand what's happening. You can see for yourself the story that's being told in the ring, and that makes for great watch-alongs because, again, it's a universal language. The thing with documentaries is obviously that's going to be in a language. You're going to have to listen to it because they're telling a story. And they don't tend to make for great watch-alongs. That's the only problem because you're having to pay attention to what's being said. It's also why I never do like backstage all the time because again, those kind of watch-alongs, it's me having to listen to what's being said and then give my thoughts on what I've just heard. But then as I'm doing that, I'm missing something else that's being said. So that's what makes wrestling so good for watch-alongs, but those kind of things not so much. Clay Wagner, shout out to you, my friend. Clay says, do you see more stars being let go after tonight? We believe that there won't be anyone else from Raw or SmackDown, which is maybe surprising because there didn't appear to be that many, if any, people that were let go from SmackDown. But certainly the dirt sheets are saying that it doesn't seem to be that there's any more main roster stars that are being let go at this time. Now, could next week be a different story? I don't know. I wouldn't want to speculate on that. I feel like they're done. I mean, they've released like nearly 30 people. You would hope that would be it. But we are starting to hear about NXT talent that are being let go. So, as we said, rumours about Tanyara Conti and Tino Sabatella and Dan Mater and people along those lines. So it seems like NXT talent that you don't see week in, week out, those kind of fringe performers, it looks like some of those have unfortunately been let go today, but I've not seen that confirmed by WWE. I just want to kind of stress that. I haven't seen that confirmed. That's just being rumoured on Twitter right now. So, yeah. Bob K says, Days, I'm making a Drake Maverick t-shirt tomorrow. Can I just tell you about this? Because I really like this idea. So, Drake Maverick obviously was released the other day, and he was very emotional. Posted a video that I think, if you maybe can't quite understand what being released and losing your job and losing your livelihood, and for many people losing their dream job, it's not just a job. It's not like you work at one supermarket and okay, you've lost a job there, maybe I can go and work at a different one. It's not that. There's not another company like WWE. If you go from WWE, where else can you go? Yes, you can say AEW, but they're not getting the same numbers as WWE. They don't have a WrestleMania at the moment like WWE. We don't even know if they can recruit at the moment. So for a lot of people, the future is uncertain, and there's not really another company out there the size of WWE that has the reach that WWE has. I mean, Drake Maverick was on the verge of having his own elite figure. Like, Mattel were making like elite figures of Drake Maverick, and he's just had a basic figure, and it's little things like that. Getting like your own action figure. You're not going to get that if you go to like NWA or potentially New Japan and places like this. So, cut a long story short, he was very upset in this video. That it had been his dream, and he was going to keep moving forward, trying to provide for his family, and all this kind of stuff. But they've said that he can still compete in the interim cruiserweight tournament, and that's a guaranteed 3 matches. This tournament is different to other tournaments that we've seen. It's not if you lose, you're out. It's you face everyone in your group. There's 4 people in a group. You will face everyone, and then the person with the best win-loss record goes through to the final, and they face the person with the best win-loss record from Group B. So, a little bit more confusing than what we've seen, but at least it guarantees everyone's going to have 3 matches rather than you lose and you're out. And so he's got at least 3 matches left. And I had a look to see what merch there was for him. And honestly, the merch is atrocious. There's one t-shirt. It says Maverick 24/7. And honestly, I looked at it and I was like, that could be a t-shirt for Logan Paul. I'm pretty sure he's got a brand that's Maverick or something like this. It's like, there was no image of him. It was just a black t-shirt with white text. It looked like the cheapest thing I'd ever seen. Like, literally zero thought had gone into it, and it paid homage to when he was the 24/7 champion. So I looked at it and thought that is absolute trash. It's trash. Like, I would love to buy a Drake Maverick shirt, be sitting here wearing it now, but I thought it was awful. So I said on Twitter, why don't people, if you're bored at home, don't really know what to do, why not make a Drake Maverick sign? Why not get a white t-shirt, make a Drake Maverick t-shirt? Even if you got a white t-shirt and wrote the words Drake Maverick, even that would be better than what WWE are selling at the moment, because at least you would have included the word Drake, because there it says Maverick 24/7. So even if you got a white shirt and just wrote Drake Maverick, but I'm sure that you can be more creative than that. And as I said, a t-shirt, a sign, whatever it might be, because next Wednesday, he is competing in his first of 3 matches. And the question I put out there is, if the WWE Universe was to do this en masse, right? I would personally love it if, like, a big YouTuber, like Grimm, that's got like 1 million subscribers, or Chris Danger, or even another wrestler like Up Down Down, Xavier Woods, yeah? If they were to like take that idea, they can have it, run with it, and get like the support of the WWE Universe. Would WWE change their mind if they got picture after picture after picture after picture, thousands of pictures of people with Drake Maverick signs, Drake Maverick shirts, Drake Maverick tweets, just a big universal show of support? Would that change their mind with releasing him? Because I don't believe he is going to be on that big of a contract, and I don't believe that someone that passionate, I mean, you don't want to see any of them get released, so I'm not necessarily singling him out or anything like this, but he has still got matches. Like, as far as I know, everyone else has gone. That's it. It's done. But he's still got 3 matches, and his first one is on Wednesday. He's going to be coming out on NXT on Wednesday. Like, Wednesday is going to be, can't miss. Wednesday is going to be one of those where, you really do want to make sure you're tuning in for that, because there's going to be a lot of emotion, I think, seeing him come out. I should imagine that that's going to be quite difficult for him to go out there knowing that he's got a couple of matches and a couple of weeks and then he's done. But what if everyone did get behind, and what if the signs and t-shirts did get made and WWE did see the support that he had? Would they change their mind? Would he win the tournament? Could he become the interim champion? Could he? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But honestly, if you've not seen it, please watch his video, because it is so emotional and so genuine as well. And it's no surprise to me that he reacted that way, because if you've seen any interviews with him, you will know just how much he has expressed his disbelief that he has finally got to the WWE. Like, a lifelong dream of his was to get to WWE. I think, this is what makes it all so hard, is the fact that we're all very passionate about wrestling. We love wrestling. That's why, we spend our time watching so much of it. And to see people that are as passionate as what we are being pushed out of the company, or like the Fink, passing away. So the Fink, one of wrestling's biggest supporters, passes away. And that hurts, These aren't people that just turned up and did it for a job and don't care. These are some of wrestling's biggest fans. And Drake Maverick, another example. Heath Slater, another example. This isn't just a job to these people. This is their life passion. And I think that's why it's been really tough to see. And there's been a lot of people that have done videos and spoken out online, and that have been released. And I urge that you check those videos out. And we've said before, make sure you're supporting your favourites, because now more than ever, everyone needs that support. So, Kenneth Terry, shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to you. EC3, All Elite. EC3, actually showed a video of himself, and he was jacked. He was absolutely ripped to shreds. So here was us joking that he was in catering. He wasn't. He was in the gym. He is ready to go. He seems angry. He seems to have like a fire under him. Maybe for someone like EC3, again, I really don't want people to get the wrong impression of what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is good news for anyone. Of course it's not. But someone like EC3 that should be getting TV time. Someone that can put on good matches. Someone that's been, used at TNA and was, a main eventer. Former world champion for them, wasn't he? And now he's literally not doing anything. I could see him going to AEW, definitely. The big guy says EC3 and Maverick to AEW. It seems like Cody was certainly interested in Zack Ryder as well. I believe Zack Ryder had the best-selling shirt the other day, the best-selling T-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. And I think he even did a watch-along earlier today. Not a watch-along, some kind of a stream earlier today, which I never saw because I think it was on at the same time as the Nikita Koloff interview that I was listening to. So I hope that did well for him. I honestly wish all of them the very best, as I'm sure you do as well. Coaster Maniacs says, these stars have become our family. Days, apparently Money in the Bank has been filmed on WWE headquarters. Yeah. Well, we don't actually know. I mean, what I would say is that certainly there's been some filming on the roof. There's a ring, and there's images of a ring set up on the roof. There's some scaffolding as well that definitely could have the briefcase attached to it. So, and also, I think it was WrestleVotes that reported that Money in the Bank won't come from the PC. So there is a chance that the whole event could be coming from the roof of the headquarters. Yes, that is very, very true. Equally, it might have only been the opening video package. It might have been they just wanted some really exciting, footage for the opening. So we don't actually know at this stage if it's full matches, any matches, the whole event. We simply don't know. So that's where we are. But if you want to see those images, I did retweet them. I think it was, I said earlier, I think it was Wrestle Daily, who I'm not that familiar with. But the pictures look legit. Why on the roof? Paris, we have no idea. We was talking about this earlier. We were talking about it. How did they go, oh, we can't do the PC because we've done a lot there. Shall we do the roof? What? What do you mean, the roof? The roof of the performance center? No. The roof of the headquarters. I don't know how they got to that. But it could be very cool. Why, though, says, please tweet, sign Drake Maverick. Let's make it a thing. Yeah, definitely. Hashtag sign Drake Maverick. To be honest, I think I might sit on it and wait on it for Wednesday. I think if people really think about making shirts, making signs, using that hashtag, and then on Wednesday, bang, the universe speaks as with one voice, and just bombard them, absolutely bombard them with pictures and tweets, and it all kind of comes through at the same time. If it kind of gets dripped through over the weekend, it might not have the same impact if it's just coming through slowly. I feel like during NXT, bang, I feel like people are going to be really on board because I should imagine he'll be quite emotional when he first walks out, and I think it's going to be a real moment, to tell the truth. So I really hope that on Wednesday during NXT, when he comes out for his match, that's when people send through all these pictures and tag Vince, tag WWE, and it's what I'm saying. Just make signs, make T-shirts, showing your support for Drake Maverick, and it'd be really cool if like a big, as I said, wrestling YouTuber or wrestler themselves was to kind of just run with that and really get a campaign up and running for it, because I think you could change WWE's mind. I really do. I don't think that his contract is that big. I think that they could turn around, and if with a big show of support with like millions of views, can you imagine if like his match on YouTube got like millions of views? What do you think that's gonna do? Of course they're gonna start questioning it. Paris says Drake needs all the support. Days, what is your favourite theme song? I don't know. I like The Undertaker's. I can't imagine. I can't imagine it without. I can't imagine wrestling without The Undertaker. I can't imagine The Undertaker without his entrance. So I feel like that was a big part of his character. So I suppose it'd be. Is it the kind of thing that I would listen to? Like, no. I'm not like, sitting down here editing videos listening to The Undertaker's theme, but I think like for wrestling and his character, it was perfect. Days, have you got a Mattel figure of the 24/7 European Championship? No, it's there isn't one out, I believe. The first figure it's going to come with is R-Truth. I'm sure I'm right. I think I'm right. But it's not released yet, so they haven't actually made one yet. Daisy baby, how are we? I've had some internet troubles. I'm sorry to hear that, bud. Shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to DH. We are 6 minutes away, my friends. 6 minutes away. We've been chatting away. If you have just joined us, obviously, I can see there's people that have been joining us all the time. Let me just give you a really quick recap of what we've been talking about. So the Insiders Wrestling podcast, that's our community podcast. So you guys can contact them. This is what I'm saying. They're actually going to interview Nikita Koloff again, and they want your questions. You could ask Nikita Koloff, one of the biggest names in wrestling in the 1980s. I think he wrestled from like early 80s to about the early 90s, that 10-year period, like pretty much throughout the 80s. He was a massive name. I believe they're speaking to him again. If you've not heard their interview with him, check it out. It's on the Insiders Wrestling podcast channel, and it's brilliant. He is so open. He's just talking, sharing stories. There's a slight Dusty Rhodes impression in there that he does as well, and just like loads of things. So absolutely brilliant. So really enjoyed that. After this show tonight, Wrestling Escape Pod has got a brand new episode all about wrestling, action figures, the history, our favourites, what we think is the worst, the weirdest, the rarest. For 50 odd minutes, we literally just bang. And really looking forward to that. So a brand new Wrestling Escape Pod. Talking of Wrestling Escape Pod, tomorrow there will be a live stream on that channel. You can vote for future topics that we talk about. You can also vote for what the watch along is going to be on Thursday. We will do a watch along on this channel on Thursday. We did ECW Barely Legal yesterday. Whatever next week's is going to be is down to you. Coaster Maniacs has got a video up with myself. That's something else you can check out if you've not seen it already. Parts of Money in the Bank have been filmed on the roof of WWE headquarters. We don't know if it was the opening. We don't know if it's the whole show. We don't know if it's just one match. We don't know. It could be promos. We don't know what it is. But there's definitely a ring that's been set up on the roof of WWE headquarters. We also know that shows are going to be taped and live. There's going to be a mixture all the way up until July. They've actually released the schedule all the way up till July. So we know that things are going to be live for the next couple of weeks. And then after that, the shows will have been taped. It doesn't really make a difference, to tell the truth. If it's taped or if it's live, it's still going to be coming from the PC. They're not going to be anywhere different. So, well, certainly they haven't announced anywhere different. So it looks like we've got this all the way up till July. Howard Finkel, I did share a little story about him that I got from the Jim Cornette podcast about how he used to compile the Finkel report. And apparently that was something that he did every morning for the headquarters and for Vince, where he would listen to all the rumours and everything and what people were saying, and he would put it all into one document called the Finkel report, which I just thought was quite interesting. I never knew that he did that, so I thought some of you might find that interesting as well. Releases, there's been some more NXT releases. Those are the rumours. People like Tanyara Conti, Dan Mather, Serena Deeb, Kendo Kashin, Nick Comoroto, Tino Sabatelli, John Cuesto, Mars Wang, Aisa Miles, Deonna Purrazzo, Kona Reeves are the names that are rumoured. But WWE, as last I saw, hadn't confirmed anything. And then that brings us to tonight with SmackDown. We've got Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. We're sure to see more in that ongoing story. Sasha Banks taking on Tamina. This follows on from last week and what we saw from last week. We've got Miz versus Jey Uso versus Big E. That's going to be a triple threat for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And also Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville face-to-face as well. So quite a bit lined up for this week's show. I should imagine there's going to be some Money in the Bank qualifying matches as well. I feel like the Daniel Bryan might be involved in one. I can't quite recall. We'll find out very, very soon. We're literally a minute away. Anna Dawes says, I just tweeted out the Drake Maverick idea to give people a chance to make some t-shirts and signs for Wednesday. Let's see if we could get some traction on it. Yeah, I'd do it. Take it. If anyone's watching and you want to claim that idea as your own, I do not care. Just tweet it out, and I just think it's going to be I'm just more interested to see if it could make that difference. I'm honestly just interested to see if there was lots of people that were making signs and making t-shirts, and you know, if people really did engage with it and tagged Vince, tagged Stephanie, tagged WWE, you know, if there was a groundswell, if it started to get some movement, which I really think it could come Wednesday, then I'd be really interested if WWE would look to change their mind. As I said, if you've not seen Drake's video, check it out. Check it out, because it's you'll struggle to find someone as passionate. And talking of that, we start with a graphic tonight, and rightfully so, in memory of Howard Finkel, 1950 to 2020. And talking of passionate wrestling fans, you better be starting with the Fink, who, you know, all I've heard is how no one has had a bad thing to say about the Fink. He was just loved by everyone, so a big, big loss. Such a loss. R.I.P. Howard Finkel. Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the greatest, well, the greatest ring announcer. Absolutely the greatest ring announcer. Right, we are starting, my friends. If you're watching or joining us for the first time, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I think this honestly is about day 18 of streams. We've just been streaming pretty much non-stop. Like every single day. As we said yesterday, we did an ECW barely legal watch-along, watching the first ever ECW show. Tonight we've got SmackDown. Tomorrow we are going to be streaming on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. We'll do a couple of hours over there, just kind of talking news and a few other little bits and bobs. But we're going over to SmackDown right now. Performance Center, of course. Plenty of lasers shooting around. WWE Performance Center, in case you didn't know where they were. In case you thought that they'd magically gone to an arena. A very small arena. Miz and Morrison, I think, are going to be coming out first of all. Tag Team Championship match tonight. Triple threat. It's not a ladder match. It's not a ladder match. Angel Osario says, "Hi Days, shout out to you and everyone in the chat. Re-sign Drake Maverick. Hashtag re-sign Drake Maverick." Yeah, I think we're gonna have to figure out like what hashtag we get behind. I'm seeing a few slight different variations. To be honest, I don't think it matters. I think as long as you send in any kind of message to do with Drake Maverick over to WWE, you're going to be sending a message. But yeah, hashtag re-sign Drake Maverick. Days, do you remember my Drake Maverick shirt? Yes, I saw that online. We're actually starting with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. That's what we've got now. A moment of bliss. So, moment of bliss, but obviously with the tag champs. Apparently, Vince McMahon is very impressed with Asuka. That's a news report I saw the other day. Nikki Cross waving over to Michael Cole. So here we go. We've got one seat. I don't know who's coming out. We've got Alexa and we've got Nikki, and there's an empty seat. They've got their championship belts around their waist. Here we go. Please welcome your first time your first two-time women's tag team champions, us. Braun. There we go. Alexa Bliss says, "Please welcome the monster amongst men and my friend." You might remember Team Little Big from the Mixed Match Challenge, which was Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss. So Braun making his way down. Now, this has got great potential for Bray, of course. Hashtag take Drake, says Mr. Paul Fox. Take Drake. So there we go. Braun versus Bray. Not the Fiend. It says Bray. And the image was Funhouse Bray. Money in the Bank. So Braun has come out on a moment of bliss. Nikki Cross would have made a good Sister Abigail, wouldn't she? She would have made a good Abby the Witch. I'm getting Abby the Witch vibe. What? Could you imagine if the lights go out and they come on and she's sitting there as Abby? That would be class. Fiendy. Look at all this gold. Belts around the waist of all of these people right now. Cheers. There's a lot of cheering. A lot of cheers going on. Where everybody knows your name. It's nice to see Braun's nipple, isn't it? Hello. Just popping out, saying hello to the world. Braun's boob. Hashtag Braun's boob. I think it might be his way of flirting, you know? I think he's kind of sitting there with it out, like it's having a little look at Alexa Bliss. That's what it's doing. I can't stop staring at it now. I am legit staring at a man's boob. Could there be more WWE releases? I hope not. The rumours are nothing more from Raw and SmackDown. Fiend is coming. Yes. Getting that vibe. We're really glad that you're our friend. We're just seeing last Friday and the Firefly Funhouse. Very serious Bray Wyatt. I'm gonna have to take you out. Well, you can't, mate. We're all self-isolating. There's nowhere to go. If you're thinking of taking him to Olive Garden, it's not happening. What's your response, Braun? What's your response? No one knows Bray like I do. I used to be a part of his family. He's trying to forget that part of his past. Braun says he doesn't owe Bray anything, especially not an apology. The past is the past. I know Bray Wyatt. I know how he works. He's a manipulator. Well, these comments are not going to go down well in the Funhouse, are they? If Bray wants to challenge me, so be it. Be known. If you come for me and not the title, the only thing you'll get are these hands. If I was Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, I'd be out of that ring. Hello, is that for me? Oh, there's a package! Oh, I don't think that's from Alexa. What's in the box? Oh, what's in the box? Black sheep's mask. Black sheep's mask. Bray Wyatt, when he came in, he was known as the Black Sheep. I'm saying Black Sheep's mask. Here we go. What is it, Bray? Shaking his head. Black Sheep's mask. Black Sheep's mask. Oh, hey! He's confused. The memories are coming back. You could get a Braun Strowman with a sheep's mask Mattel figure. And there the laughter. The laugh track plays. The mind games. Bray Wyatt trying to derail the Strowman Express. This is the darkest moment of Bliss I've seen. There we go. In case you had never seen him when he was in the Wyatt family, they just show an image of him in the mask. Very cool. The Fiend laugh. Who laughs like that? Wow, the Fiend. Days, Eva Maria's got more Twitter followers than Shane McMahon. Well, there we go, breaking news. Days, what do you think of that Sabu poster that I sent you on Twitter? I still don't know why he would come to Clacton. I think he came to Clacton to see you, Liam. That's why he wanted to meet up with you. It was cool. I love that laugh, says Sandman882. Oh, Matt, I've got to tell you, it's Sandman. I haven't seen a lot of Sandman matches, but watching I've got to say, watching Barely Legal has blown my mind yesterday. Watching the Sandman come down to the ring with a cigarette and a beer in this hand. I don't even know, he had a cigarette and a beer and a kendo stick, and he kind of came out and he was like just looking around at the crowd. Like he wasn't really paying any attention to the ring, and he was just like looking around. It was so cool. And Matt, he had such a gut on him as well. Oh yeah! I was joking during the stream that we were not watching athletes at the peak of their physical powers. But still, it was one of the coolest entrances I can remember. It was great. There was some real good stuff in that ECW Barely Legal show. So again, I'm not even saying it for you to watch the watch along. Just watch that show if you've not seen it. There's some good stuff in it. Just a shout out to a show from 23 years ago. Days, can you show us the custom figure that you've got of yourself? Can I? That one. There we go. I think it's that one. It's one that someone made and brought to Wrestling Shop Live. How great is that? Look, they even made the packaging. Isn't that cool? Look at that as well. Wrestling Days, the man, the myth, the legend. Someone actually made that and brought it to. I think it's an Aaron Stevens figure, a Damian Sandow with maybe like a Brock hat on and a few things. But they legit wrote Wrestling Days on the top. How great is that? Look at the work that went into that. So impressive. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, love that. Sandman's entrance was one of the best things in ECW with the Metallica track playing out. It was awesome, says Dave. Days, Sandman is a legend. You are not alone. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I've got some Bud Light Platinums in the fridge. Nice. Do you know, I might grab a beer when Wrestling Escape Pod's on. So, as I said, as soon as we're done watching this, jump over to the Wrestling Escape Pod because that's YouTube channel. Because that's we got a brand new episode, and I will be in the chat, and so will Tommy. Total Bellas. Only on E. Right, we've got Corey Graves. We've got Michael Cole. Why are you trying to decipher the meaning? It was quite obvious as to what we just saw. It's not the most cryptic thing I've ever seen. So Corey Graves says the only person walking this earth that might be able to understand what goes on in the mind of Bray is Braun Strowman. It is an interesting match. It is an interesting match. I think Braun wins, and I think that's why it's Bray Wyatt that's the opponent and not the Fiend. Shame it wasn't Funhouse Bray that took on Goldberg, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think if Goldberg had beaten Funhouse Bray, then I think we all could have coped with it a bit better, rather than seeing the Fiend getting defeated. But there's no way they couldn't have had the Fiend in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi royal family and the fans definitely would have wanted to have seen the Fiend. Right, Sasha Banks making her way out. Sasha and Bayley. Sasha Banks versus Tamina. And the crowd say, both select. Right, Sasha Banks versus Tamina. If Tamina wins, which she will, then she will go on to face Bayley. Boss time. It is boss time. Funhouse Bray's second pay-per-view match, yes, after facing The Miz. Bayley going on to commentary. Bayley has been champ for 188 days. Bayley actually wearing a Sasha Banks t-shirt. Here comes Tamina, and honestly, I couldn't even tell you what her entrance music sounds like until I'm hearing it right now. I don't understand why they look so fearful of Tamina. They've never cared about her before, and all of a sudden now, we have to believe that they're scared. Like, it wasn't that long ago that they were just squashing her in matches. I love Sasha's theme. It is very cool. Days, please chug a beer on stream. I don't have any around. I've got some over there. Will Sasha turn on Bayley tonight? Don't know. Don't know if it'll be tonight. Anador says, all aboard the Tamina train. Yes, there's a lot of trains around at the moment. We've got the Tamina train. We've got the Strowman Express. Scals Yanks 24. Scals Yanks 24. Let me drop thank you at the bottom for you, my friend. Thank you very much for the support. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you to Scals Yanks 24. There we go. Boom. Let me read what Scals Yanks has got to say. Days, that was a pretty sick segment with Bray. Do you believe that this will be the start of Braun being turned to help Bray and the Fiend? Thanks again for the streams. I love them all. Scalsjacks, thank you for the support, my friend. Thank you for tuning in and joining us. I would personally like for Bray to rejoin Braun to rejoin Bray. I think what with Rowan and Harper having left, I think it only leaves Braun now from the original family. Yes, Daniel Bryan joined for a short time, and so did Randy Orton, but they only joined so that it could further a storyline along. Braun was like a member for quite a while. So I would like it. I would like him to be the black sheep again, and I think that certainly it's been teased that there's other masks and other things to come. So I personally would like Braun to be a part of that. Sasha down on the outside. We've gone to commercial break anyway. I know that really does split opinion though, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you like Braun to join, or do you feel that, Bray should just carry on his own and still explore the Funhouse on his own? I don't see how it hurts, to be honest, having Braun kind of with him. I'm not saying he has to stand with him in the Funhouse or anything like this, but just kind of a union. You know what I mean? They're just kind of, they acknowledge that they support each other and they work with each other, and maybe Braun turns heel. I don't like face Braun, to be honest. I think that's part of the problem. I feel like Braun as a heel works better. So a heel Braun and maybe a Braun with a mask and connections to the Funhouse, I think could be a really good refresh for his character. But let me know what you think. Depends how it's booked, says Jackson Oak. Fair play. Eagles Lair says re-sign Drake Maverick. Hashtag re-sign Drake Maverick. Days, who do you think will win? I think Braun will win, but I think he could be changed as a result. The reason I say that Braun will win is because I think it's a bit too soon to take the title off him. I know that he only won it because Roman wasn't there, but I still feel like, why not give him a run? Why not give him a chance? There's no need to take the title off him so quickly. Let's at least give him a chance and see what he can do. So I would have him win, but push him to a dark place. You know, like how Hell in a Cell, like Seth Rollins won, but he got pushed to his extreme. Now, people didn't like that finish because it was very confusing. WWE, put a message out saying that it was a DQ, and people couldn't understand how it could be a DQ in Hell in a Cell, and other people didn't understand what a ref stoppage was, and it was all blah, 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 and it was a mess and all that bad stuff, yeah. I'm not saying they repeat that. I'm just saying that we have seen this happen before where, Seth won that match. He was still champion at the end, but he was still pushed to his absolute limits, and you could argue actually to a breaking point, because look at him now. Look at what happened after that feud with the Fiend. I wonder if that's what we see with Braun. I wonder if this will change Braun, and Braun does turn heel. He might win that match, but lose the war. Right, we're going back. I like him face and heel, says your boy. If Bray loses, he's buried. No, I don't agree with that, because you've got the Fiend character. It doesn't look like it's Braun versus the Fiend. It looks like they're doing Braun versus Funhouse Bray, and it might be that they're doing that so that he can lose. But I think the question will be, did he lose? Yes, he lost the match, but is he actually trying to recruit Braun? Is he doing that more so than trying to win the title? I could see that conversation being had after the match. Against the ropes goes Sasha. Nice basement drop kick. One. Just a one. Desperation on the face of Sasha. Dave's thoughts on who Edge might feud with next. I don't think you're going to see Edge for a little while, to be honest. I think they're going to... I could see them keeping him away until Money in the Bank. I don't know if he goes in Money in the Bank. I don't even know if he's going to compete at Money in the Bank at this stage. It might be that they're actually looking to see how he reacted to WrestleMania. But we've certainly not heard any rumours or anything, so it's hard to say what's next. Seated, sent on, and she's... Good submission hold. Frustration on the face of Bayley. Bayley says that she would love nothing more than to share the ring with Sasha. Universal Champ versus WWE Champ Braun versus Drew at Survivor Series. That would currently be the match, but I doubt it's the match by the time we actually get there. Days Braun should join the Funhouse as the Universal Champ, so Bray could feel above the title. That would be interesting. That would be I like your thought there. Will Funhouse Bray turn into cult leader Bray for the night? Maybe. I think, I mean, I've got to be honest, look, Bray's had a run with the title, so I'm not desperate to see him win the title back. I don't really care if he gets the title or not. He's just had a run. I don't think they should have took the belt off him in the first place, but am I that bothered about him seeing him get it back now? No, I'd like him to get him back, but he doesn't have to get it back right now. I think there might be a more interesting story to be told. Bayley trying to distract Tamina. Yeah, that more interesting story might be, does Braun get recruited by Bray? Does he become a member? Does he turn heel? I think they could certainly at least tease it. And that might be what they've done here. You saw as Braun was looking at that sheep's mask, he was very confused. Memories were coming back, you know. Bayley has taken her shoe off. Lacey Evans is making her way down. Lacey Evans comes flying down and shoulder tackles Bayley. We're up to 3. Super kick. Down goes Sasha. So Bayley is down. Sasha's down. I don't know where Lacey Evans has gone. Where's Lacey gone? Here we go. Super kick. Sasha down. 1, 2, 3. And Tamina unsurprisingly gets the win. There's Lacey. Lacey jumping into the ring. Corey Graves saying this is an upset for Tamina. It absolutely is not. I think everyone expected this. Braun and Bray's feud is getting awesome as expected. There's certainly a lot of talking points coming out of it. Big Boy Jose saying Tamina wins indeed. Tamina emerging victorious, and as we said, not the biggest surprise in the world, although it was to Corey Graves. Okay, so Lacey Evans and Tamina in the ring right now. We've got Naomi versus Dana Brooke tonight. Money in the Bank qualifying match. Naomi versus Dana Brooke. I would imagine Naomi will win that, but here we go. Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. Money in the Bank qualifying match tonight also. Jey Uso, because of course we've got a tag team championship match coming up also. The Tamina train chugs on, says Anna Dawes. Jim Gore says, did not see Tamina winning at all. Sunny Wolf says Tamina wins. Not a surprise. Swamp Manor says this is the greatest moment in the history of our sport. Indeed. Days notice me. This is my dream, says JJA. World of Adventures. Dreams do come true. There we go. The boyhood dream has just come true for JJA. World of Adventures. We're getting women's matches. I'm all for that. Women have been stealing the show this year. Women have really done fantastic. As we said, I've been heaping tons of praise on Asuka recently, who I love anyway. But I think she's been absolutely brilliant during, everything that's been going on. I genuinely think the best match at WrestleMania was Charlotte versus Rhea. So I do think the women have been doing a fantastic job. So yeah, I'm all for it as well. Do you think that Cena will interfere with the match at Money in the Bank? I don't think so. I think it could be teased, but I'm not expecting Cena, to be honest. I can't wait to see Funhouse Bray's entrance again, says Ben Russell. How weird if it's going to be on a roof, though. I can't. How weird. Just how weird. If that event is going to come from a roof. Days, how long do you think Braun can keep his title? It all depends how it goes. Depends how YouTube views are, how merch sales are. It's obviously not a great time for him to be champ, to be honest, because we know that the ratings are down. As a result, I'd imagine YouTube views are down. I'd imagine that merch sales are down as well. So, he's got a lot of work to do, let's put it that way. I was not an Asuka fan until these past weeks. I've got to say, I do see what Days has been talking about, says William. Shout out to you. LSW, Days, could any NXT matches be at Money in the Bank? I don't think so. They haven't really been doing that. I mean, we didn't really get any NXT matches at WrestleMania outside of the women's one. So, they could. I think they should. But I at the moment, there's nothing to imply that it would go that way. Do we know who's in the men's Money in the Bank so far? To my knowledge, there hasn't been a qualifying match yet, has there? I think the matches we had on Raw were all women's matches. So, I don't believe we've had any men's qualifying matches yet. An over-the-top battle royal. Will it be Funhouse Bray or the Fiend at Money in the Bank, asks Billy. Well, certainly the graphics are implying that it's going to be Funhouse Bray. And as we said, I think it's going to be Funhouse Bray because I think he's going to lose, to be honest. I think he's going to lose, but I think it's going to be one of those where he loses and the bigger talking point isn't that he's lost, but it's has Bray turned. I think that'll be the bigger talking point. Has Bray turned? Has Bray rejoined? Has Braun turned? Has Braun returned, turned heel and rejoined Bray? So I think that'll be the bigger talking point is what the future holds for Braun, more so than Funhouse Bray lost the match. Right, we're just going back to SmackDown. We are already a quarter of the way through this show. Don't forget, we do have the Wrestling Escape pod coming up after, and Tommy genuinely has loved talking with you guys. I think he even mentions it in tonight's episode on Wrestling Escape pod, so he will be in the chat later. We're backstage with Lacey Evans and Charlie Caruso. As my daddy would say, Sasha Banks needed a taste of her own medicine. Wherever Sasha goes, I go. Well, that's not very good social distancing, is it? On Lacey's hand, she's got the word Sasha, and it's got a cross through. Charlie can't believe it. Charlie has never seen anything like that before. Her face, she was like, wow. Oh, wow. can't believe what I've just seen. Right. The fella is making his way down now. Fella! Sheamus. Following contest is scheduled for 1-4. Days for me, the Funhouse went stale after Seth burnt it. Yeah, there's been a couple of missteps, definitely. I think losing to Goldberg was a misstep. I think the end of Hell in the Cell was a misstep. I actually didn't mind it. I think I saw what they were trying to do, and it made sense to me. But I just think the execution was very, very poor. Very poor. And unsurprisingly, people hate that moment. A lot of people will point to that as the moment where the momentum was lost. Oh, name the jobber! Name the jobber! Go! Go, 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 go. There's no point saying name the jobber. You've just got to quickly get in. You know these matches don't stick around for long. It's name the jobber. Doctor Who is Beast says new Bray Wyatt side plates. I've tweeted them to you. Thank you, my friend. Here we go. I said name the jobber. Montez Dawkins. Montez Dawkins. It could be Montez Dawkins. Chris Paul. So far, we've got Chris Paul and we've got Montez Dawkins. Montez Paul. Small Steve. I do like Small Steve. Small Steve. I'm feeling Small Steve. I'm going with Small Steve, I think. Small E Langston. Done. Boom. Love it. Small E. That's what we've got. Small E. Small E Langston. Sheamus versus Small E. There we go. Bro kick. Small E down. Going for the pin. 2, 3. Thanks for coming, Small E. Good work. Thank you all for playing the latest round of Name the Jobber. Yes. Woo. Paul Jogba. Little Lee. Little Lee. Love it. Dawkins the second. Garage Gobbut. Small E dangerously. Small E dangerously. Well, look, he's down anyway. He's down. He's been defeated. He's had his head knocked off. Oh, he's angry. Are you serious, Cole? You're at this again. What's happening? Here we go. This is what I want. I want Sheamus versus Michael Cole. Jeff Hardy mention. Jeff Hardy. We're building towards Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, aren't we? Jeff Hardy getting mentioned. He's going round. Yes, beat him up. Beat him up, Sheamus. Come on, Sheamus. Do it for Jerry the King Lawler and what happened at WrestleMania. Oh, he's getting right in his face. Look at him with his stupid little... he's walking away. He should have bro kicked that little bit off his face. Here's Jeff. Hello, Jeff. You've gotta be kidding me. Jeff Hardy on the way. I tell you what, if Money in the Bank's going to be on a roof, it's probably best we don't put Jeff Hardy in that match. Jeff Hardy, Chapter 2, The Fall. The Fall of Jeff Hardy, courtesy of the network. We're looking at... Jeff was beat up. This is going to be really interesting. I don't think I've seen... Is this aired yet? I don't know if I've seen... Well, no, I haven't seen it. Big Show saying that he could see on Jeff's face that he was in pain 10 years ago. They can see a lot of potential in Jeff. Again, that's the rumour. Not saying like world champion or universal. But Vince definitely doesn't want to see Jeff go. There's footage of Jeff. Worse for wear. This is really interesting. Days, I predicted that this feud would happen. Shane STS 2004, shout out to you. Really interesting look here at Jeff Hardy. Does anyone know if this is on the network yet? This looks interesting. It looks really interesting. Wrestler arrested on drugs charges. I mean, look, they really, really put themselves out there, don't they? He's talking about how he was face down and his wife was face down, being handcuffed and arrested by the police. And they're showing you mugshots from 2009, mugshots from 2018, reports from TMZ. Jeff Hardy arrested, DWI, car crash. Big Show saying you need to get your beep straight. This looks great. Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe failed a wellness policy, didn't he? I don't know why. Jeff Hardy is going to win Money in the Bank. Jeff Hardy talking about jail. Talk about hitting rock bottom. This looks incredible. So when's this on? Jeff Hardy, Chapter 3, The Redemption next week. Okay, so next week we get another little look at The Redemption, but I don't know when the full thing's on. I mean, is it on the network now? I don't know. What happened with Dana Brooke and Batista as well? Is that all done? Days and everyone, I tried out the WWE ice cream bars from Good Humor. I brought them from my local Walmart. They were delicious. I tried them the other night. There we go, breaking news. Spoiler. Spoiler. Spoiler alert. They're delicious. Dana Brooke says she's got this. She's got this. Bring it to the floor. Des, who do you think The Undertaker will feud with next? Hopefully Sting. Has she got the hat? Yay! She's got the goldfish bowl on again. I love this thing. I hope they sell these things. There's got to be a way of making a version of that on WWE Shop, like for $100 or something. It's got to be. A few LED lights and whatever. There's got to be. Look at it. It doesn't need... Oh, it's just so good. Shame she can't wrestle in it. Look at this. She's just like a... It's insane. It is so cool. It's just... it's a shame that the commentators don't acknowledge it more. Like, Michael Cole is already talking about Money in the Bank and all this kind of stuff. They should be freaking out about how great that thing looks. Because it is so cool and so different. And instead, like, they're just no selling it. She's got, by the time she's done her entrance, she's got to be knackered. She's got to be absolutely shattered. True HN99. You could restart WWE. If you could restart, who would your champions be? I don't know, dude. I couldn't sit here and go through all of the champions. I'd have Asuka as women's champ. Bosh, done. I don't know that I would have two women's champs and two... I think if you're a champion, I think that if you was WWE, get rid of the Universal title, set it on fire, throw it outside, right? And then get rid of one of the women's titles, set it on fire as well. And then I think if you're the champion, you go to both shows. That's it. You're the top guy. You are the champion. You are the WWE champion. You are the WWE Women's Champion. You are the WWE Tag Team Champions. And that gives you the freedom to go to Raw and SmackDown. They're the only superstars that can, if you're champ, then wild card. But you're the only exception. It's only because you are the champion. I just think having 2 tag team champs, 2 women's champs, 2 Universal and it devalues it, you know? So I'd have 1 women's champ and it would be Asuka. I'd have 1 champ, men's champ. This is going to be controversial. I think it'd be Brock. I think I'd have Brock as champ. I think that he's the most legit. I think you've got to look at it and think, who would people pay money to see? They would pay money to see Brock. He's got such big name value. He's a once-in-a-generation talent. Brock's the kind of person that people will really talk positively about in like 20-odd years' time. But now, at the moment, people are just frustrated that he's not there week in, week out, which I totally understand. But I kind of feel like the champs should only wrestle once a month or something along those lines. That's the mountaintop. They're kind of like the end boss. Do you know what I mean? They're like the end boss. Like, the week-by-week shows should be trying to establish who is the next person that's going to challenge them. Do you know, like on Lucha Underground, I've seen clips of like the champions sitting in a throne. Like, they didn't wrestle all the time. Most of the time, they just sat on these thrones, looking down and watching the rest of the roster, trying to decide who was going to be the next challenger. I kind of like that. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan that, like, you see the champion once a month and it's a big deal. It's a big deal when you see them. So I'm not like totally against it. I'm not totally against, but I do agree that Brock should have defended more. I know that he went a good few months without defending, but so was Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch went a couple of months without defending the title. It's one of those things. So I feel that Brock is a big name draw. I'm a Brock Lesnar fan. I was a fan of him before. I was a fan of him in UFC. I think that he's legit. And then I think, you know, if someone was to beat him, I think it should be a big deal. It didn't feel like a big deal to me when Drew won. It was kind of expected. The King. So yeah, I'd have Brock and Asuka, and then build up someone to beat Brock, and no one would actually ever beat Asuka in my federation. She'd be champ for 30 years. Right, next Friday we've got a celebration. Triple H. Time to play the game. Days, do you think there'll be a draft or superstar shake-up? I don't know. There could be a few little moves around, but there doesn't seem to be any indication of it. They've done a couple of moves, but I think if there's going to be one, it'll probably be in July once we get back to, like, hopefully arena shows. But it certainly seems like we're not getting an arena show until July. Because it looks like they're going to be doing tape-ins and things like that. Right. Naomi versus... Yeah, he never won Money in the Bank. True story. Hashtag true story. It's all about the game next Friday. It is. Now I'm picturing Brock on a throne with a crown and a robe and Heyman pouring him a glass of wine. There we go. It's been announced. Climb the corporate ladder. So there we go. It is happening on the roof. They've just announced it. So that's why they've done it on the roof. They're saying climb the corporate ladder. So it's not going to be the opening video package or anything like that. It's seemingly going to be the Money in the Bank matches are going to take place on the roof of the headquarters. You're going to climb the corporate ladder. How amazing is that? The roof is real. Zach, the roof is real. The roof has always been real. This should be fun. Should be fun. Please let Keith Lee confront Triple H. Tell him you're a backstage guy now. I'm here and now. Do it, WWE. That'd be very, very cool. That would be very cool. How'd you think about that? What you think about that? The roof matches are going to take place. It's not just the opening. It is going to be matches on the roof. They've just announced it. That's amazing. That's blown my mind that they're actually going to... That's going to be crazy, yeah. Sounds cool, says Eddie. I'm kind of excited, says Robin. OMG, says Don. Who do you think went into the Hall of Fame too early? I don't know. I don't mind anyone going into the Hall of Fame that, like, too early. I don't know if there is too early. Jay Whitefeather says, should be one of each belt, then 2 TV titles. That's a nice idea. That's a really nice idea, like the Raw TV title and the SmackDown TV title. Would you have to do a Raw TV title for men and women? Because then you might actually be creating more belts. That's the only problem. Coaster Maniac says, what if someone messed up and the case fell off the roof? And also, imagine seeing someone climb a ladder from the ground. Naomi is on the outside. It's good. It's going to be good. So, yeah, it's been announced. That's big news. The wrestling dude says, someone is going to get hurt. It's a crazy idea. I don't know that they'll get hurt. I mean, it's not like the ring and then that's complete drop. Like, the roof's going to be the same size as the performance center. So, you're going to have a ring, and then I should imagine, like, barricades around. And, you know what I mean? I think they're going to be fairly safe. I'm not expecting it to be a case that someone gets thrown out the ring and they're like, ah! Oh, that would be wild. That would be wild. Shane STS 2004 says 10 for the community. Keep doing your thing, Days. Shout out to you, buddy. Thank you very, very much for the support. It is genuinely appreciated, and really appreciate all of you joining us for SmackDown tonight. It's been do you know what? It's been a fun little show. It's not been a show that set the world on fire, but interesting little promo to start us off with, and obviously Braun looking at the sheep's mask. Then, of course, we had the Sasha Tamina match. Now we've got Naomi taking on Dana Brooke. Naomi coming out with that great helmet that she's got, that LED helmet, fishbowl thing, whatever it's called. But I suppose the big talking point is the fact that Money in the Bank matches will be taking place on the roof of WWE headquarters. Shout out to Wrestling Dude. Shout out to Shane STS 2004 and Jay Whitefeather as well. Oh, very angry Dana Brooke down on the floor holding her face. Naomi down as well. R-Truth will probably climb a ladder from the bottom to try and escape the roster with the 24/7 title. Isn't Gronk 24? Honestly, isn't Gronkowski the 24/7 champ right now? I think he is, isn't he? I don't think he's lost it, has he? I'm pretty sure Gronkowski is still the champ. Coaster Maniacs says, how about a Royal Rumble from the headquarter roof? Well, I would hope that we would be back to arena shows then. 1, 2, shoulder up, kick out by Dana Brooke. What is your best Kurt Angle moment? Well, I enjoyed his match against Shawn Michaels. I enjoyed his match against Brock. So there's quite a few. Even the moments against Shane. No! Dana Brooke won! Now that's a shock! Dana Brooke? Dana Brooke turns around to Michael. She's like, Michael, I did it. Wow, none of us can believe it. Now that's a shock. Don't bother trying to tell me that Tamina winning against Sasha's a shock. It's not. This is a shock. I thought Naomi was winning this. How do you not have Naomi in Money in the Bank? Strange, but I like it. Michael Cole says to Dana Brooke, was this the biggest? Yes. Yes. Straight away, no thought. Ah, very sad. I did it. I did this. You did, Dana Brooke. I like it. I like it. Fair play. She's jobbed out enough. Let her give her an opportunity. Smackdown, the land of opportunity. Opportunity. Oh, here we go. Otis and Mandy are an item. Dana Brooke says, Brandon. Vegan Strong Style, shout out to you. Hope you are well. It's been an alright show, actually. It's been alright. That match was just roll-ups. Yes. Sonny Wolf, Cole and Dana, they were hilarious, weren't they? I did like the interaction between those two. That was very good. Sounds great, Mandy. Sounds great, Mandy. Just having a little look at the history here between Otis, Mandy, Dolph. Heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to relive some of these moments. Oh, the roses are on the floor. I wonder if that lady had them after. There's a lady sat at the table right next to the roses. I reckon she reached over and went, well, no one's having these. I might as well have them. Days, what are your two favourite title designs? Mine are North American and women's. I like the UK and I like the North American, yeah. I like the AEW Championship. I think the AEW belt is great. Hey, Mandy. They buried Naomi. They've not buried Naomi. She lost the match. That was all. What's your favourite match type? Just a normal match. Just a normal match. If I had to pick a stipulation. I don't know, actually. Cage matches are all right. Sounds great, Mandy. So, here we go. We're seeing the hacker and the truth will be heard. The truth was heard. What now? What now? I love the Universal Champion. Days, is it going to be that all the matches are on the roof? They didn't say. I think they said that... I think they only mentioned the Money in the Bank matches because they were talking about climbing the corporate ladder. Do you think we'll see the hacker? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be more that needs to be revealed. Dana Brooke for 24/7 champ. Anyone for 24/7 champ? Where is he? Where is Gronkowski? Dana is a gymnast. She could be interested in the ladder match. Now, if Tamina wins the championship and Dana wins, could you imagine Tamina as champion and down comes running Dana Brooke? Look at that slap. Sonya Deville attempts to clear the air with Mandy Rose. That is coming up next. So, Days, is Dolph going to feud with Mustafa Ali? I could see that happening, yeah. We've gone to commercial break. Get your half-time scores in. What do you think of SmackDown? Get your thoughts in. What do you think of SmackDown? What do you think of SmackDown? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you happy? Are you sad? Get your scores in. What would you give it out of 10 so far? I never score it at the halfway point, but I'm very interested to know your thoughts. JJA World of Adventures says, I am the 24/7 champ. Dave's random question, what wrestler or wrestling promotion best represents your sister's personality? Shimmer. 5776, 5.57, 6.56, 6.10, 6.25, 7.597, 5.57, 8.250, 7.75. There's quite a few 6s and 7s. We're all at 6s and 7s. DJ B Tazzy says it's 8. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. 7.5 says Chris. Shout out to you. £10 a podcast. 6.5. That's good. That's good. I thought you weren't into this WF promotion. So to get a 6.25 from you. Whew. Whew. 6, 8.5, 7.5, 10, 7.3, 7.57. I don't know why I started singing. I just did. It's no Bray or ECW. Wow, actually, I don't even know what the main event is. So, could we see Bray? Could maybe. Imagine Dana Brooke as a duo champion. Lol. Sunny Wolf, I'm drinking a salted caramel alcoholic beverage. Ooh. Amanda Catherine says 7, but Chris Murphy says 4. Hello to Ospel. Shout out to you. 7.89 says Jim Gore. Hasn't been bad, but hasn't been the best. Honestly, I would say that this has been a big improvement on recent weeks. I never give it a score at the halfway point, but I would say this has been a big improvement on recent weeks. There's nothing that set the world on fire, but I like the fact that matches mean something. Like, I'm not watching pointless matches. The first match, if Tamina won, she got a title shot. Brilliant. Second match was a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. Brilliant. And then on top of that, you got an interesting promo featuring Braun. And nice little look at the Jeff Hardy thing. And then the announcement about the roof. And they keep showing Ronda, don't they? Look, we got Ronda here again. What's happening? The best of WWE. Ooh, what's happening? What's this? What's this? Shh. The Man 24. This Tuesday on FS1. Woo. Here comes Sonya Deville. Right, we got Sonya and Mandy face to face. Here she comes. Oh, she changed her hair. Normally she has her hair back. Not today. Not today. This is no messing Sonya. Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose. True HN99 says, what is your favourite Money in the Bank ladder match and why? Let me come back to you on that. Okay, a very emotional Sonya Deville. Says she's tried to get in touch. Can you please just come out here? She's very emotional. She's very upset. Is she going to come out? Well, she's meant to. I think she's booked for this segment. Talking about Tough Enough. Yeah. Don't they eat donuts together and things? Mandy making her way down. She does not look impressed. So, Mandy Rose making her way down. Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk was the best at Night of Champions. She's going to say she loves her. What's your least favourite title design? Probably 24/7. Another Lana and Liv storyline. I don't know. Mandy says, I've got nothing to say to you after what you did to Otis and me. Yeah, let's see how this plays out. Yeah. Man. She's going to say she loves her, isn't she? You're the most. She's the most. She is the most. She's definitely the most. Oh, selfish! Hello! That was great. That was great. You're the most selfish. This has got nothing to do with that. Wow. This is good. Fire and Desire was never about us. Week after week, I came out to your entrance music. I nearly gagged, but you've probably been doing that a lot recently because you've been with Otis. Look at Dolph and look at Otis. Dolph actually cares about you. There's parts of this that's brilliant. There's parts that's a little bit, but overall, I like the swerve. Vape Ross Vape says, "Sing it, Days." I'm so glad that the cards are on the table. All I want is to see you hurt. Heel. Hurt. Heel. You're nothing but a dime a dozen bottle blonde. 5 years of my life wasted. You have no talent. Bobby doll. I tell you what, Sonya Deville is taking this moment, isn't she? I will use every ounce of my being to ruin your life. It's great. Oh, girlfriend! I was an actual fighter, not some centerfold. Beep. Wow. Shout out to you, Vape Ross Vape. Thank you for the support. Same with True HN99 Catfight. This is a great segment. I feel like some of the acting's a little bit, do you know what I mean? But great segment. Some great lines. Great story. Dolph's here. Look me in the eye and tell me. Tell me you don't feel anything for me. Oh, where's Otis? Where's Otis? Where's Otis? We need Otis. Look, he's getting a bit fresh. Oh, boom! Big right hand by Sonya Deville. Big right hand. That was nice. Here comes Otis. Yeah. Took your time, didn't you, mate? Where was you? Jesus. She's already down on the floor. Sonya jumping onto the back of Otis. Here comes Mandy. Oh! Oh! Oh, this is good. Cat fight, cat fight, cat fight. Loving it. Loving it. Yeah, look, no one's winning an Oscar, but as a little wrestling segment. Loved it. Some lovely stories in there. Sonya not going in a direct... We were all sitting here going, she's going to say she loves her. And she didn't. She called her selfish. Called her a centerfold. Beep. Oh, Dolph coming back for more. Belly to belly with Otis. Dolph goes down. Oh, yeah! Caterpillar time. Is the caterpillar the right move to do here? With this very powerful betrayal. This very powerful moment. Is it the right time to jump on the floor? That segment was so pro wrestling. That segment's one of the most pro wrestling things I've ever seen. If someone goes, can you just explain pro wrestling to me? I'd go, yeah. Watch this. Watch this segment right here. Watch Otis thrusting against the ropes. So pro wrestling it hurts. DJ B Tazzy says, Dave's random question. I've been thinking about this. Do you think that Raw should go back to 2 hours? Definitely. 100%. 100 percentage. 100 percentage points. This is wrestling. This is wrestling. I love that segment. I really enjoyed it. It had some lovely twists and turns in there. Had some wonderful overacting. Had some classic pro wrestling moments like Otis, who you know was only backstage watching, and he comes running down far too late. Here we go, look, video package for the Fink. The legend. How do you follow a segment like what we just saw? I'll tell you how. With a video package for the Fink. He was the voice. Here's your winner. Fink. Says it all. No! It's great that they've put this together. There he is with King Duggan. And, look at him. Finkus Maximus. Coming down with the Bushwhackers. He loved it. He loved it. He would do anything. There's him on Legends House. Toupee might not have been his forte. A legend. What a legend. Yeah, apparently he was the first person they officially signed when they when Vince bought the company from his dad. And there he is with Gorilla Monsoon. a young Rocky Maivia, the Gobbledygooker, Legends House, which you can watch on the network, Hall of Fame from 2009 when he got inducted. Howard Finkel. Legend! Thank you, Finkel. Thank you, Finkel. One of the greats, man. One of the greats. Days, did you notice that Dolph was wearing a Zack Ryder t-shirt? I didn't. I was too caught in the moment. What a class act. Well, you say class act. But I think we all just saw that segment. Is Batista coming out of retirement? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. This must be the think tank. I'd give $50 to see Days do the caterpillar. Dude, if I get down on the floor and even try, I ain't getting back up again. I'll be like a fish out of water. There's no popping up from me. Once I'm down there, I'm just going to be flailing around. They could do a spot where someone jumps off the headquarters because it's all pre-taped. They could use crash pads and edit it. Yeah, much like do you remember the last time? Well, I don't know if it was the last time, but do you remember Hogan and Big Show on top of WCW's roof, and they were in them monster trucks? Do you remember that? And then wasn't it Big Show, the giant that fell off the roof? So we have been down these roads before. So yes, they could. Days, you should have a Funhouse background. That's part of the appeal. Glad we got a sprinkle of Finkel. Oh, I like that. I like that, Human Detox. A sprinkle of Finkel. Days, what do you think AJ or... I don't know what AJ's going to do, but he obviously he's lost Gallows and Anderson, hasn't he? So I should imagine he's feeling a little bit lost at the moment. There is no OC anymore, you know? So... anyone else love luchadors? Luchas are cool. Dolph and Zack are friends, so he is showing respect, absolutely. Did you hear about Roman and his wife? Yeah, we briefly touched on it earlier in the stream. Days, what former WWE superstars in AEW do you want to see return? Personally, I'd love to see Moxley and Jericho. Yeah. I just don't think they will. I'm not sure. I can see Moxley being away from WWE for as long as Angle was. I think that Moxley will return one day, probably to go in the Hall of Fame with the Shield. But I can't see him returning before that, to be honest. Jericho, I think Jericho's a little more fluid, but again, I think Jericho might be out for quite a long time. I don't know. He might return to go in the Hall of Fame, and that might be it. True HN99. Yes. Absolutely, you can. Shout out to you. How will Drew respond to the vicious attack by Seth this Monday on Raw? But backstage, oh yeah, of course we've still got that tag match. Oh, well, not a tag match, but it's for the tag titles. Days, my least favourite is the NXT UK tag titles. Okay. What happened with Roman and his wife? They're having twins. So, it's actually positive news. Days, the theme for Money in the Bank should now be the roof, the roof, the roof is on fire. So, I think this is going to be our main event tonight. Miz versus Big E versus Jey Uso. It's not a ladder match. It's just a triple threat. But that is for the Tag Team Championships. Shout out to Chalmers. We've still got Daniel Bryan against Cesaro as well. I should imagine that'll be next, I would imagine. Hello? Forgotten Sons? Because they did get called up, didn't they? The Forgotten Sons. The most exciting call-up in the history of all call-ups. The Forgotten Sons, I mean, they're gonna struggle to do a video highlight package here. Certainly they're gonna struggle to put together all their wins that they got from NXT. There we go. Cesaro, I do like the CGI for Cesaro is great, isn't it? With all the like matrix and the numbers and everything. Looks cool. So Cesaro making his way down. It's Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan. This is Money in the Bank qualifier. So, I tell you what, Cesaro winning this would be awesome. Cesaro, could you imagine Cesaro with the briefcase? People would love Cesaro to have the briefcase. Daniel Bryan would be cool as well. We can't really lose here. But I think Daniel's had a nice run, hasn't he, with the title recently. Cesaro, I could see Cesaro getting this. He's come down with Shinsuke. There's no Sami Zayn. Shinsuke! Don't forget, as soon as Smackdown is done, we'll talk about the big talking points. I'll get your thoughts. We'll score the show, and then we're going to jump over to the Wrestling Escape Pod YouTube channel. Conversation will continue in the chat over there. I will be in the chat, as will Tommy Toy Travels. So you can obviously speak to Tommy, who loves being over there and spending that time with you guys. Daniel has come down with Drew Gulak. He doesn't need a ladder. No, he doesn't need a ladder. Days, would you agree that Sami and Shinsuke as heels doesn't work anymore? I think Shinsuke as a heel works. I haven't got an issue with Shinsuke as a heel. Do you think they would ever put Lacey Evans with the Forgotten Sons? The fact that she is military? I don't think so. They're so different that it doesn't work. Even if they've got the military connection, I just can't see them coming out together. The Forgotten Sons are a bit like a biker group. That's the vibe I kind of get with the Forgotten Sons. Like a Harley Davidson group. The truth will be heard. Here we go. The Usos. What's this? They're looking at... So it's continuing. This truth will be heard is continuing. We're just looking at different pictures. The truth will be heard. Some keep their friends close. Some keep their enemies closer. That was interesting. Some keep their friends close. Some keep their enemies closer. Do you know what was really interesting there? We just saw a lot of partnerships. We just saw a lot of groups. So we saw... Oh my... This is going to lead to the split between Big E and Kofi. It's going to lead to the split between Sasha and Bayley and potentially Big E and Kofi. He was just showing footage then of groups. You saw the Usos. You saw Bayley and Sasha, but you saw Big E and Kofi. And what the glitch just said, what that hacker just said, was some keep their friends close, but others keep their enemies closer. He is going to reveal who is keeping their enemy closer. He's already done it with Mandy and Sonya. I think he's going to do it again. I think that's the reason why we haven't seen who it is yet, because I think there's more to reveal. And there was a big tease there of it being Big E and Kofi. There was also a tease of it being Bayley and Sasha, but I think people are kind of expecting it, that one. So, very interesting that we just saw Big E and Kofi. Oh, Alexa and Nikki was shown as well, yes. They're loving life at the moment, though. They're tag team champs, so it's kind of working out for them. I can't see a need for them to split up yet. Not with them being tag team champs. I mean, if they do hate each other, then, definitely they could do a story. There's quite a few partnerships that they could break up, actually. That's definitely the tease. The work is not done. The work is not done. And I got to tell you, the Big E, Kofi one. John Morrison and Miz as well. Yeah, there's definitely potential for that to split. But again, they're tag champs. I think whilst they're tag champs, there's not really a need to break them up whilst they're tag champs. Obviously, that could change if they lose the titles tonight. But, is it Lars? It's too small to be Lars Sullivan. I don't think it's Lars Sullivan. John Morrison could get his payback on the Miz. Yeah. But not whilst they're champs. I don't see why either of them would want to jeopardize that. So, again, this is why I'm not leaning towards Alexa and Nikki or Miz and Morrison. Now, obviously, if they lose the titles on SmackDown, that's going to make things very interesting, but I don't think it necessarily means that those duos will split, but it is planting the seeds about a devil's advocate. I don't know. I think there's more work to be done. I genuinely think there's more work. Otherwise, if the purpose was to reveal the Mandy Sonya thing, then that would be it, wouldn't it? The fact that the hacker hasn't revealed who it is means there's more truth that needs to be revealed. And they could easily break up the Miz and Morrison tag team. They could easily break up Alexa and Nikki Cross. So whoever it is that they want to break up, whatever story it is that they want to tell, I think they're going to use the hacker to tell that story. And I personally hope that it's the Big E heel turn that they use it for. I think that's the biggest story, the biggest split that they could do. I don't think there's any other split that would be bigger than that. Because of the history of the New Day, the fact that Xavier's not around, the fact that it would all be falling apart with him not able to do anything. They're seemingly not in the title picture at the moment. I don't think they're going to win the belts tonight. You watch, they will now. It's tasty. It is definitely tasty. It's tasty. Ronda is the hacker. Could it be Xavier or Ali? I don't think it's Xavier because you can see that the hacker is white. So I don't think it's Xavier. Tucker turning on Otis. I don't know. I feel that would be too soon to split up Heavy Machinery unless they really want to push forward with Otis as a single star. But to be honest, I would much rather that Otis have his success while still in that team. I would fear for Tucker. I don't know what the future would hold for Tucker if they split apart. Eric Haberman, shout out to you. Days, will we get that breakup later tonight? Wow, that's a good thought. Yes, maybe. Maybe. Let's wait and see. Man, there's been so much news and so much stuff that's been going on. What with, I said at the halfway point, I mean, that was about half an hour ago, I said that this was a much better show than what we'd had in recent weeks. And even just that, I mean, think about what we've seen since I made that comment. Just since I said that, we had that really great pro wrestling segment, classic pro wrestling 101 between Sonya and Mandy. Now we had a really brilliant hacker segment. Really, something to really get your teeth into. And now we've got a fun little match between Cesaro and Daniel Bryan, and we've still got that triple threat to come. Andy Mackey says, Days, have you heard about Money in the Bank? Superstars start from the ground floor of Titan Towers, and the briefcase is on the roof. Got to climb the corporate ladder. Yes. Days, chug the Coke. No. There you go. Chugged. Days, do you think WWE could possibly bring back a few wrestlers that got released? Yes. But I don't know when, is the answer. I don't know when. Could it be Shane? Could be Shane. There was no tats on the hands, so it can't be Jeff or Punk. No, I'm not expecting it to be those guys. What's your favourite match so far tonight? I don't think any of the matches have been brilliant. I'd probably go with this Cesaro Daniel Bryan match, to be honest. I don't think it's been a night for great matches, but I do think it's been a good night for storyline development and just entertainment, really. Just, it's been a good show. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is an amazing show or something that we're going to be talking about for years to come, but have I watched it and been entertained? Yes. And don't forget, in the hour before, I was kind of just not really in the mood. So it's not even as if I was going into this like really pumped and excited and everything. So I think what they've been able to do tonight has been really positive, and that's what the world needs, isn't it? Some positivity. So I've watched it. I've watched it for an hour and a half, and I've been entertained. It's a good work. Fair play on them. It's Mustafa, or it could be Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas would be great. I'd like it if they used Bo Dallas. I don't even know where he is. Mark Clark says, Days, could you see Dexter Lumis as NXT champ? Yes. I'm a big fan of Dexter Lumis. Big fan. A lot of people telling me that he was Sam Shaw in Impact. I've seen him as Sam Shaw in NWA. If you've been watching the NWA watch-alongs with us recently, we actually watched some of his matches when he was Sam Shaw, but he wasn't quite as, psychotic as what he seems to be here. It was brilliant. I can't remember if it was the main event, and he was just kind of standing under this light, wide-eyed, and obviously, he's got an interesting look as well, because he's got those black gloves. And he's just you just don't know what he's going to do. It is like a Dexter vibe, and I do love his music as well. People saying that it's too Stranger Things, but it's different. It's great. So yes, I could see him as champ. I think it's going to be hard for him, though, because obviously you've got Killer Cross or Karrion Kross, who's now coming on board as well. So yes, there's a lot of people that he's going to have to try and get ahead of. So it might not be a quick journey, but a great character. Right, we're back. We got Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. Dexter Lumis, a.k.a. Adam Rotella. Absolutely. Why would anyone want to hack SmackDown? Well, bored. Everyone's bored at the moment. So, do you know what I mean? We're all self-isolating. You might as well do some hacking. Linda McMahon is the hacker, says the dead man. Oh, she's too busy bribing politicians to get WWE classed as essential. You gotta love Linda. Working tirelessly. Unless maybe she's hacked into like Donald Trump or something. She's got all these secrets, and that's how she got it all deemed as essential. Big kicks coming in by Daniel. Blocked by Cesaro, but he actually hurt his forearm as a result. Gets kicked in the head, Cesaro. Shout out to Paris. The hacker could be Gargano. I think it could be. Could be. What if the hacker is an NXT star? That'd be great. The circle is what has made people say Ali, though, and the fact we haven't seen Ali for so long, so I'm still leaning to Ali. I think Ali has still got to be heavy favourite. Days, I love the ECW Barely Legal stream. It was awesome. Can't wait for next Thursday's stream. Well, we will decide on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel tomorrow what we will be watching next. Knee to the face and Daniel Bryan goes down. The hacker is Punk, full stop. Nice crossface. The hacker is Adam Cole. Middle of the ring. How long we got? We got 28 minutes. Turning it into a yes lock. One, two, reverse. There we go. Cesaro has got his shoulders down. Clothesline. Down goes Daniel Bryan. Days, I'm still going to support my main girl, Sarah Rowe. Riot Squad forever. Yeah, how disappointing. I mean, just how disappointing that she's been let go full stop, but how disappointing that, you know, we won't get the triple threat, like, Riot Squad match. And I don't understand, like, she seemingly was the only girl that was let go from the main roster, and I can't get my head around why. I don't understand. I'm not asking for more to be let go, but I don't understand why she was let go. Yes, lock by Daniel, middle of the ring. Cesaro's going to struggle to get out of this. Shinsuke was trying to get in and help, but Gulak grabs Shinsuke. Nakamura gets thrown into the barricade, and he taps. Daniel Bryan wins. Daniel Bryan goes forward. Zelina Vega is on Twitch. Cool. This randomly showed up on my YouTube homepage. The Miz was on Logan Paul's podcast. Cool. All secrets are going to be brought to light. Cesaro tapped. He did. So Daniel Bryan is victorious. He goes forward to... There we go. Climb the corporate ladder. Unlike anything we've seen before. Climb the corporate ladder at Money in the Bank. There's Big E. Big E cutting a nice promo. I got out of my triple bunk bed. I said, Kofi, Woods. Tonight we officially become the 8-time World Tag Team Champs. There we go. Pumped up, Big E. Big E is pumped. I don't think it's El Hojo. Special musical performance from Elias. No thanks. Triple bunk bed, I know. Oh, King, there we go. Thank God. Thanks. Elias getting beaten up by King Corbin. Into the NXT truck. You think you're somebody. Boom. And a stomp on the ribs as well. So, brutal backstage beatdown. You got more fight than this, don't you? He's still wearing his crown, by the way. King Corbin. I don't hear you now. Oh, that was good. Corbin just charged into one of the crates, but Elias's hand was actually between that and another crate, and it just crushed his hand. Wow, he's just crushed his hand. That's going to be devastating for Elias. He's dragging Elias out to the arena. It's been a good show, man. This has honestly been a good show. It's been good. The hacker is Dominic. Total Bellas. Right, there we go. We go to commercial break again. Days, I don't know why, but you haven't noticed Becky Lynch isn't on that poster. They have Charlotte instead of Becky. What poster? What poster? Elias died for the second time. Days, can you do a video where you cry whilst throwing boxes? No. Elias, do you like Elias songs? Not really. I'm not someone that tends to walk with Elias. I think there's more entertaining things in WWE, but I kind of feel like he was people were really on board with it, and he was doing well, and then it just kind of fizzled. It never goes anywhere, does it, with Elias? I kind of feel like Elias is the modern day Brooklyn Brawler. He's kind of like the jobber. He kind of always jobs out to people and always loses to people, and he never, really gets anywhere. But they've given him an interesting gimmick. So I definitely get the purpose of him. But no, I can't say that I'm a big fan of his songs. On the Money in the Bank poster, I never read into posters. Becky wasn't included on the SummerSlam poster or the Survivor Series. I don't think she was on the Survivor Series poster. I never tend to look at... what WrestleMania was it? WrestleMania 22? I think the poster for WrestleMania 22 was John Cena and Booker T fighting in a match. And they weren't even having a match at that WrestleMania. The poster for Money in the Bank 2011 was Hornswoggle and Big Show in their pajamas. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be getting clues from posters. Was that the same truck that Edge and Orton fought on? Yes. Days, Money in the Bank poster, there's no Becky. Don't worry about it. The Money in the Bank poster is Strowman and Fiend. It's going to be Charlotte versus Io at Money in the Bank. That would be cool. Are we sticking around after the show? We're going to stick around after the show for about 10 minutes so I can get your thoughts and we can score the show. And then, as we said, we're going to jump over and the conversation will continue over on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. So the chat will continue over there. Favourite match tonight? I don't think it's been a great night for that, as we said, but probably Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. Predictions for the main event? I don't know. It might be that they retain again. I don't think the New Day are going to get it. So, it could be the Usos. The Usos might get it. Certainly the Hacker is implying a split. And if there's going to be a split, it won't be between the Usos. So if you put the title on the Usos, then at least you're freeing up the other teams. Elias is still getting beaten up. This is a prolonged attack, isn't it? Is this fun and games? Days, could Pac be the Hacker? No. I'm going to make an example out of you. We've only got 19 minutes left and we've still got this main event match. He's standing on that hand that got rammed in between the cases. He's got the scepter. Bang! Right in the jaw. In the throat, actually. So this means he's not going to be able to play guitar. He's not going to be able to sing. I am the king. I am not a joke. See you later, Anadors. Thank you for joining us. Again, Scepter. And Elias goes down. Big strike by King Corbin. Pyro on top of the HQ. I could see that Coaster Maniacs, yeah. Days WWE and AEW might get their crowds back sooner than later because it's been reported they found a cure for coronavirus. I think they said something about vitamin E. Becky's latest promo, she said she was waiting for a challenger from the Money in the Bank to prove themselves worthy. So I don't think she will be at that show. The guitar gets broken as well now. Brutal. So Corey Graves says that was excessive, but I guarantee you King Corbin wanted to send a message to the whole of the WWE there. Here we go. Next week, Drew Gulak is going to be taking on King Corbin. So I could see Gulak going forward from that. Lacey versus Sasha. And that's going to be a qualifying match as well. Lacey versus Sasha. Drew versus King Corbin. I think Elias is going to cost King Corbin. So Carmella and Dana Brooke take on Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss next week as well. The history of Braun and Bray. So next week we will look at the history of Braun and Bray. Looks like Bray's wearing makeup. Oh, don't you dare be sour. Big E versus Jey Uso versus The Miz. It's a new day, yes it is. Could they be doing this for Elias to write him and repackage him? Maybe. Well, they've just took his voice away and they've just taken his guitar playing hand away. So if he's going to be out of action for a while, maybe. I think that it has gone stale, if I'm being honest. I do like how they are slowly colouring in this ring attire. Big E has come out with this jacket that's all white. And it's got its paint by numbers on it. And he's started to colour in his ring attire. It's a new day. Yes, it is. The hacker doesn't like tag teams. So it must have been abandoned. Shorty G was kind of abandoned by Jason Jordan. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Shout out to you, Chalmers. I like that. Because wasn't Shorty G also abandoned by Shelton Benjamin? Uh, 2020 described in one word. Corbin. I like that. Do you think it makes more sense that the hacker knows about being in a tag team like Jeff Hardy rather than someone like Ali? Well, I mean, like, yeah, at the moment they're breaking up tag teams, but I think, I'm not sure if it's tag team focused or if it's truth telling. I think at the moment there was a story to be told between Mandy and Sonya, and it seems like the next story is going to involve another tag team. So there could be a connection there, but it could also just be that these are the stories that they want to tell at the moment. You know, if there was some truth to be told about a solo star, then maybe the hacker would reveal that. So definitely could be something in the tag team thing. Or, as we said, it could just be these are the stories they want to tell at the moment. They've literally got 13 minutes for this main event match with The Miz making his way down. Yeah, Shorty G was abandoned by Robert Roode, Shelton Benjamin, and Jason Jordan. No more. No more. And he's white. Just saying it because we know the hacker is white. Miz has come down, obviously, with both titles. These are all the people that didn't compete at WrestleMania. You didn't get a chance to compete at WrestleMania, so you get a chance to compete on SmackDown a few weeks after. Talk about a runners-up prize. If you are watching and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe. Make sure that you join us. We're here for every Raw, every NXT, every SmackDown. We do I was going to say AWA. AEW. It'd be great if the AWA was still going. But they're not. Big E to the outside. Going out after Miz, who gets hurled into the barricade. I could see, the New Day having Mattel figures all white with the numbers on. And then maybe you could colour them in if you wanted to. I could see that. Big E asking, did you need this monitor? Michael Cole's like, yeah, kind of needed it. Big E says, I've got a plan, Michael. Your boy has got a plan. Kicks by Jey Uso and The Miz. How long we got? 10 minutes. Here we go. Jey Uso and The Miz working together. They're going to try and suplex Big E onto the table. Right on the edge as well. Oh, Big E onto the big edge. Nasty. Nasty. Oh, even I felt that. Even I felt that. Days, do you think Cena will have one last title reign? I could see them giving Cena the IC belt, but I don't know that they'll give him the big title. But I could see them giving him the IC belt. Why is E being double teamed? Because he is a threat with a capital T. Big T. So, taking him out. There's all the hacker. All Ali is the hacker. Because remember when Kofi Kingston took his main event chance? So, Ali turns heel with Big E. Yeah, that's true. Ali obviously was meant to be in that Elimination Chamber match. And he was meant to be in that gauntlet match. And I think it wasn't it injury that ruled him out, and then he was replaced by Kofi? So there's definitely a history there. Shorty G isn't white. Wow, that is going to come as a shock. Everyone is focusing too much on the white hand. It's irrelevant. Just trying to throw us off. The team that will break up is Days and subscribers. All of his subscribers will unsubscribe, and you will only have one, and that will be me, says Mega Ranger. Well, Mega Ranger, it seems like you just want to be with me alone for a long time, which concerns me. And I'm going to take out a restraining order to ensure that you're always kept at least 20 meters away from me. Because that is a very concerning comment that you just dropped. Braun running Power Slam, and he is still the champ. What? Oh, what? In the match against Bray? Yeah, I think Braun wins. I think Braun's going to win that. I think that's why it's Funhouse Bray. And as we said, I think the bigger story isn't that Funhouse Bray comes up short. I think the bigger story is going to be, will Braun turn? Has Braun turned? Will he turn? Will he join the Funhouse? I think that'll be the bigger story. Well, that'll be what everyone's talking about. But I do love the climb the corporate ladder thing. I think that's cool. Right, we are back. How long we got? 8 minutes left in this show, and then we're going to jump over to the Wrestling Escape Pod. Just a reminder, Triple H celebrates 25 years, one of the greatest superstars to ever marry a McMahon. Oh no, in WWE history. The Game. The King of Kings. Fu Samuels.Bybin. Shout out to you, my friend. Fu Samuels. Days, how is the view in the performance? Very good. Very. I'm having a lovely time. They've treated me so well. I was going to go to catering, but I think King Corbin just trashed it. So I'm going to have to skip that. But, yeah, I've got to say, no queues for the bathroom, which was brilliant. I got my Coke very quickly as well. There was loads of parking spaces. So, yeah, it's been wonderful. Here we go. Uso up top. Crossbody. 1, 2. Kick out by The Miz. I think Big E is probably still down. Before the commercial. Look. Boom. Oh. Such a nasty way. Such a nasty place to do a suplex. Like right on the lip of that commentary table. Boom. Running over. Gets slammed down. Days, can I tell you something? I love you, babe. I love you, babe. Nice, Miz. Doing a little bit of a dance. Little jig from The Miz. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Is that really the right time, Miz? Super kick by Jey Uso. Super kick again. Down goes Big E, who just came back in, and kick out by Big E. Kick out by Big E. Best wrestler in history to marry a McMahon. Yes, absolutely. Days, are you going? I'm not going anywhere. We've got 6 more minutes of this show. 6 minutes. Oh, nice sunset flip. Miz grabbing the leg. Roll through. Big E down again. 1, 2. Duck underneath by The Miz. Looking for a skull crushing. There it is. Skull crushing finale. 1, 2. Oh, I thought it was done. Into a figure 4. Into a figure 4. Lovely. Lovely work. Figure 4 leg lock by The Miz. Miz screaming at Jey Uso to give up. How long we got? 5 minutes. Jey Uso not getting any closer. He's pounding on the knee of The Miz to try and get The Miz to break that hold. Is the hacker CM Punk? I don't think so. Oh, Big E's in. Big E. Grabbing Miz. Big ending. 1, 2, 3. New Day are the new tag champs. Oh, I've only just seen that. He's got Fink armband on. Credit to Big E. New Day. Miz and Morrison split then. Miz and Morrison split. I can't see the New Day splitting whilst they're champs. There we go. Kofi celebrating. What would Howard say? I've really enjoyed this show. This hour in particular has been excellent. He's licking the belts. Coronavirus? I'm not sure that that's advised. There we go. Xavier Woods saying that they've done it again. Can Xavier Woods claim this? Doesn't he know about the virus? All Xavier Woods is doing is just promoting his Instagram, up, down, down. He's just literally using this as an opportunity for that. Big E, literally rolling on the floor. Just shouting 8 times. 8 times! He's literally making out with the belts. It's actually quite disgusting to watch. And also very sexual. So, Big E making out. I love you. I love you. Oh, what fun. What fun. I tell you, that second hour in particular, I thought was great. I genuinely thought it was great. I really, really enjoyed that second hour in particular. Yeah, really, really enjoyed it. It was, I loved the Mandy and Sonya thing. I loved the hacker segment. I loved that match at the end with Big E coming champion again, like New Day winning the titles again. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, I thought was probably the best match of the night. So there was so much in that second hour, and even at the halfway stage, I said I thought it'd been an entertaining show. Like, there was a lot that they actually put into this episode. So I'm full of praise for this episode, but let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe. We are here every Monday, every Friday, every Wednesday. Big E and the belts are barely legal, says Johnny Bates. 87985 7.5 775 9.5 8.75 7 9.75 6 10 8 10 8.5 8 8. He's licking the belts. He was 7 8.5 8.5 9 8.99 9 8.75 upside down and backwards 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. You're giving it a 10. Oh, it was good. I don't know if it was that good. It was good, but I don't know if it was that good. 10, 8.5, 9, 8. 8, 8, 7 point. I don't know what I'm going to give it. I'm not going to give it a 10. I'm not giving it a 6 or a 5. I'm going to give it a 8.25, I think. 8.25. I think there were some moments that I definitely would have. I think some of the matches could have been better. And it's not as if we got, like, anything really OMG. You know, it's not as if, like, CM Punk came walking into the room. 8.25? But one of the best shows they've done from the PC. One of the best shows they've done from the PC. I'll give it that. 8.4, 7.5, 8.5, 8, 6.9, 7, 8. Jim says, I'm going to give it a 9 because the 9 ate the 7. Okay. It's got to be a 10. They made you forget about everything. It was entertaining and very well done. Well, I do agree with that, see. I definitely agree with that. Firefly Funhouse fan says 8. Deadman says 9. Cab Bob says 8.5. Mega Ranger says, Days, I'm sorry, it was a joke. I live far away from you. Cons Ams says, I don't really like the New Day. They're just a bit boring now. Well, who knows where it's going to lead? Who knows where it's going to lead? Just think if the matches were good. Yeah, I mean, look, the matches were all right. This definitely was a show where the segments and the promos were the bigger talking points. So, yeah, if the matches had been great as well. then I think we would have been at a 9.25. And then I think for this to have been a 10 out of 10 show for me, the matches would have needed to have been a little better. And then you would have needed a big OMG moment. Like, you would have needed, like, the reveal of the hacker to have been Ali, or, you know, like a big talking point. That's how you get 10 out of 10 territory for me. Couple of things with the matches that I would have tweaked, and but 8.25 is still a very, very high score. And I agree with what C Wrestling said. It distracted you and was an entertaining show for 2 hours, which in this current climate should not be underestimated. The segments and the promos should be bigger, otherwise the pay-per-views aren't special. David Hall, see you on Monday. Big E always wins. He never gets pinned. Well, he's a very special talent. I do think that if you're going to have a triple threat match like that, I think you'd have to say that Big E was going to be the favourite going into it. I thought that The Miz would retain. I thought that they would find a way of having The Miz emerge as victorious, to be honest. But I've got to be honest, I like it. I like Big E winning. I like the fact that it ended on a moment like that, you know. So, yeah, I like it. I think we need Corey Graves in the Otis segment. What, you want Corey what, because of how he keeps talking about Mandy? Could do that. Could put him in. I don't know if it needs it necessarily. I heard rumours that Corey Graves really is looking to try and return. Corey Graves is looking to try and get back to the ring. He's been really inspired by the likes of Edge, and, you know, that'd be great. Wrestling Days fan says, I didn't watch the show. You missed a good show. You really did miss a good show. Days, Miz and Morrison are breaking up. I just feel like it's going to happen. I feel like it probably needs to happen. I feel like they've probably done a lot of what they can do. Feel like maybe the hey hey ho ho and all of that kind of stuff is designed to just really keep emphasizing their friendship, you know, like hey hey ho ho, the music video, all that kind of stuff, the dirt sheets. It's been a lot that they've done since Morrison came back, and he's not been back that long. So I think they've been red hot with the friendship, really built the friendship up, and then yeah, I agree. I can see the turn coming. I don't know who turns on who. Maybe Miz. Maybe Miz is a great heel. So maybe Miz turns on Morrison. Says that he abandoned him. He left him. And all this kind of stuff. And now he's just going to come walking back in. Miz makes a great heel. So I would have Miz back as a heel. I want Otis to challenge Corey and then Corey to come out to his old theme. That'd be great. As I said, you know, Corey, very vocal about wanting to return. I don't know where he is with his medical problems. I don't know if that's something that's possible or not, but 205 Live is showing Warrior versus Hogan from WrestleMania 6. What? It's a bit random, isn't it? Why? Just a fun little question. Why? I'm guessing they've got no one that they can put new matches on with, or I don't know. I don't know why they've done that. I always forget as well that it's on after this. I always forget that it's on after this show. I never stick around and watch it, obviously. We're going to stick around for another 5 minutes or so. And then, as we said, we're going to jump over to the Wrestling Escape Pod. That's the podcast that I do with Tommy Toy Travels. We're up to episode 2, and it's literally each episode is just its own little subject. So we just look at something different each week. This week, we're going to look at wrestling action figures. It's quite interesting, actually, because we look at the history of them. So we go back to when they first started, and we have fun with it. It's only on for like 50 minutes. So if you've not seen one yet, we've done previous episodes where we've had a look at WrestleMania. And this one, we're going to have a look at wrestling action figures. That's going to start in literally 8 minutes. So we will jump over there. I will put a link in the chat as well. In fact, I can drop a link in the chat right now for those that want to jump over. I can see a few people already jumping over there as it is. And as I said, I will be going over there in a second. But just want you to get your final thoughts in before we end this stream. And as we said, as soon as we end this stream, I will be jumping over there. And Tommy will be over there as well. Tommy loves talking to you guys over there. So if you want to talk to Tommy Toy Travels, Triple T, he will be in the chat. Vegan says, you can't underestimate how good that show was. You've got to grade the show with the same criteria. 10 means it couldn't be better. The matches and segments weren't at that level. So Vegan gives it a 7. There is a spotlight on Brian Kendrick, and Hogan versus Warrior was a match that inspired him to become a wrestler. Oh, fair play. Okay, fair play. Chalmers says, Days, would you climb the corporate ladder match thingy? Yes, I would climb the corporate ladder match thingy. I can't believe they took the titles off The Miz. Yeah. I think it was probably time. I mean, how many... They defended them at WrestleMania. Was they going to be able to retain them again here? The thing with these triple threat matches is they are stacked. The odds are stacked against the champions in triple threats. So to survive it at WrestleMania was one thing, but to survive it again, you know, I thought they would do it. I thought they would do it. In all fairness, I thought Miz would retain. And actually, out of all of the scenarios, I thought the New Day was the least likely. Because the hacker was definitely teasing that there was going to be a split, you know. And I thought, well, if you put the titles on the Usos are never going to split because they're brothers. So they're not going to split. But if you put the title on them, then who is the split? Is the split Miz and Morrison? Or is the split the New Day? So, but there we go. Interesting. Would you climb Hell in a Cell? Yeah, let's just say yeah. I would do all of these things. Because I can say that because I'm never going to have to prove it, am I? So, yeah, I'd do them all, yeah. Days, I didn't mean it the way you said it. I wouldn't unsubscribe. No worries, Mega Ranger. No worries. It's a glitch that's been around for a while. Days, can you give me my hometown of Hammond, Indiana a shout out? Yeah, boom. Shout out to you. And Hammond, Indiana. 4 million a month in savings. Yes, that's true. 4 million a month in savings. Apparently, not all of that is coming from the wrestlers that have been released, though. I don't know how much of that is coming from the wrestlers that have been released. I don't even think it touches 250,000, to be honest. I've seen some numbers, and I don't know how accurate they are, but majority of the savings are coming from other things, like them not moving to the new headquarters yet, and other aspects that they're saving money on. Apparently there's a lot of like bonuses that aren't being handed out and things along these lines. So apparently the wrestlers that were released doesn't make up much of that 4 million at all. Who won the tag titles? It was the... Who was it? It was the New Day. It was Big E. Days, have you ever thought about calling people on your streams? Maybe not on the watch-alongs, but on streams like tomorrow where we have a chat and chill out. Yeah, I did think about it, but I never knew how to do it. And I've just started to... honestly, until I started doing Wrestling Escape Pod, and until... in fact... the very first person I ever spoke to on Skype was Elder Sour. Elder Sour, when I went on to Stranger, you know, £10 podcast. That was the first time I'd ever used Skype. I'd never used it before that. So I wouldn't even know how to do it. And actually, when I do Wrestling Escape Pod with Tommy, we use Discord. So, I've never used that either. People ask me if I've got a Discord, and I haven't, because I literally only use it for Tommy and speaking to Tommy on, and that's all I've ever used it for. And it's the same with Skype. I don't use Skype. I literally use it for probably if ever I've been on £10 podcast, that's it. So yes, I have thought about it, but I've only now just started to get into using those things. Where can we get merchandise? Amazon and Urban Species in the UK. Right, I have been putting the link on so that you can jump over there. The conversation is going to be continuing over there. We got a couple of minutes, that's all. Just a couple of minutes. But then we are all going to jump over. Well, hopefully we're all going to jump over. It would be great to see you over there to the Wrestling Escape Pod. And as we said, this week it is on wrestling action figures. Days, when are you going to go over? Literally, I'm just going to go over in a couple of minutes. I just want to finish off talking to people. The Hackabee and Shorty G makes sense. You should make a Discord. I can help you make it. I know a little bit about them. I'd never use it, is the truth. I'd never use it. I literally don't have time with everything that's been going on. I mean, like editing like videos and doing all these streams. It's been pretty full on. So yeah, I never would use it. Right, one last one. So there we go. Final link in the chat. I think we are done. We've put our scores in. I really, really enjoyed tonight's show. I really, really enjoyed tonight's show. I thought it was an excellent, excellent SmackDown, and I completely agree with what a lot of people were saying about that it was, entertaining, and it was a welcome distraction from everything going on. So can't ask for much more than that, can you? So to everyone that joined us on this watch along, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. You know that I do. We do it every single week, so thank you very much for joining us. I am now going to jump over to the Wrestling Escape Pod channel and carry on chatting over there. And as we said, Tommy Toy Travels will be over there as well. So hopefully you lot can jump over there and join us for what I think is a really fun episode as we look at the history and talk about our favourite wrestling figures. So yeah, come and join us over there right now. It is starting right now. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you for all of the support. And hopefully I see you over on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel right now. Bye for now.